So with T here, we are, I think, ready to get started here. We are going to be playing some RogueTech today, and I'm really feeling the BattleTech after yesterday's MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries stream. I had a lot of fun with that. I want to revisit that game, but I don't want to get too far in the story right now. Mostly because I want to have that be a real actual series, perhaps even with actual Lance mates. I think that would be a lot of fun. The logistics behind getting that done would be interesting. I'd have to try to find some ways to do that. But I wanted to start this up. This is going to be a brand new company here, and this is going to be a bit of a stream series going on here. I'm not going to, super regularly commit to doing this series, but just whenever I feel like playing RogueTech sort of thing, we'll return to this particular one. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a brand new career here in RogueTech. We're going to run this on default settings, I think completely across the board. So this will be nice and difficult. Remember, if you need a lance mate, here I am. Okay, I will keep that in mind. I'm not sure about time commitment. It's going to be interesting. We might have to swap out lance mates or something. I don't know. For the series, time commitments are difficult, right? Because we have to be able to produce an episode every single day, which means a pretty lengthy recording session when we can all get together. We'll have to see. Okay, so we're going to run the default settings as far as difficulty goes. I think that's reasonably fine for RogueTech. It's nice and hard. I like it. And we're going to have long load times because this is RogueTech. That is just the way that RogueTech works. If I do another RogueTech series, of course, I'm going to pause recordings for these loading screens because it can be a little bit extensive at times. And that's technology that we now have, that we didn't have last time I did a RogueTech series, actually. So that's great. Of course, pausing streams, not really so much of an option. So we're going to be chilling here on this loading screen for a good long time, because this is the first time we've fired this up in a good long time, and it takes a while. So I recommend grabbing your cup of tea if you have acquired one and settling in here, because it's going to be a little bit. In the meantime, we can talk a little bit about that prospective MechWarrior series. What I was thinking about doing for that was going to be something along the lines of, it's a MechWarrior campaign series, and the mission would be to get through the campaign, at least for the first series. But we'd be playing it in co-op, where I would be playing the main campaign, and then we would bring in the lance mates for the missions. And I think that could be a lot of fun, potentially. I'd have to figure out a lot of logistics around that. The real question would be, who do we have as lance mates? And what kind of timing does that end up looking like? Because my schedule can get intense. And trying to get that lined up for 4 people, or even more, could be spicy. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot to work through on that particular plan, but I do think that would be a really fun series to do. I really, really do. As we can see, this loading screen is incredibly lengthy. In the meantime, we may want to do something entirely different. I'm thinking, yeah, this is the main problem with RogueTech, right? These loading screens are insane. Generally speaking, I would cut this out of the actual series videos, but I definitely want to get this going here, and it will be a thing. In the meantime, let's go ahead, while we have a loading screen up here, and fire up a different game, I'm thinking, while we wait for it to load. What do I want to do while doing that is just a little thing. That's a good question. I mean, one thing we could do is we could fire MechWarrior 5 back up, because I did want to discuss a couple of things in the mech bay here. So let me swap over to that. Let's see here. Hello, MechWarrior 5. Where are you in the list here? With great power comes great load screens. Absolutely. Where is MechWarrior 5? I am not seeing it in this list. You can hear it now. There it is. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to load up our campaign here. I'm not actually going to play any games here while we are doing this, but we'll load this up real quick. And I'll check in periodically on RogueTech to see if that's finished loading yet. But I did want to talk about some interesting things that I noticed in the last stream in the mech bay in MechWarrior 5. So, we are going to hop over to our battle mechs. It doesn't really matter which mech we look at here. We can just go into like the Centurion here, and we can look at this loadout. So, the thing that I noticed that I find very interesting is that the slots, like the hard points here, they have sizes. This is a medium ballistic slot, right? So, yeah, you can put a smaller weapon in there, like an AC-5, but it takes up exactly the same amount of space no matter what. That's kind of weird, right? Like, weapons don't have a slot count. They just have a hardpoint size. That's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't know. That's very strange, for sure. I was just checking to see if RogueTech had finished loading yet. It hasn't yet. But that's very interesting. It also means that by and large, at least at this stage of the game, it seems unlikely to me that we're ever really going to be substantially slot limited in MechWarrior 5. Unless you're just spamming on the single heat sinks or something. I'm also wondering, because I'm not seeing any option here for modifying the engine. Now, while that is true to BattleTech canon, it's not particularly true to most BattleTech video games. So that's another interesting thing that I noticed here. You can't really swap out your engine, which means that you're limited, you're much more limited on your tonnage. So that's definitely going to be a thing. Checking in on RogueTech here. Oh, we're now generating portraits. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, there's definitely some weirdness going on here, but overall, I do very much like this game, and I think that there's a lot of potential here. But it's definitely not, like, super traditional as far as, like, a MechWarrior or BattleTech loadout system goes, right? So that's fine. Let's hop back over to BattleTech here. Perfect. So this is finally loaded. So let's get rid of MechWarrior 5 here. There we go. And apparently we are Magistrate. Okay, I don't really care too much about this. We were born in the Federated Suns, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything here. We can choose any of these if we wanted to. And I am going to change these. Let's just pull up a random generator here. Random.org. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but remember that it's a hardpoint, a single weapon. And engines, there's mods. There's a lot of mods for quality of life. Yeah, it does bear noting that that's just the base game. That is absolutely true. So I'm going to go with, like, a random generator between 1 and 20. It spit out 17. I don't know if there's 17 choices here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. There are 11. So I'm going to have to do between 1 and 11. Okay. It spit out 9. So 9 would be 11, 10, 9. Trueborn. We are a clan Trueborn. Oh my. That's exciting. Clan Trueborn, huh? Okay, how many options are there here? 5? Sure. I wish there was an option to just randomly choose in-game, but there isn't. We get position 2, which is Gambler, which is exactly where we're at. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so let's see. Every time I tab out, it's muting the music, which is awkward. But we get position 8, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We were a test pilot. We're very interested in gambling. This is a game for us. And we are a Trueborn clan warrior. Yikes. Oh no, clanner. Ew. I agree. I'm not a fan of clanners. Okay, we will confirm here. That is what we rolled up. We can't command tanks, which is fine. I don't care about that. I also don't really care about our character portrait or anything like that. War is business, and business is hell. Welcome to the Inner Sphere, Commander. You are a mercenary standing on the bridge of your very own Argo, a mobile space station looking forward to a life of conflict among the warring factions of humanity. Will you prosper, or be remembered only as yet another thug who couldn't cut it? Well, we'll continue here. We're, of course, in Outreach, and it'll be interesting to see what mechs we start with. We'll see on that front, but I kind of feel like we were, I don't know, maybe we were banished from the clans because of too much gambling. Like, we got into a bidding war, bid away everything, and then just tried to fist fight an entire regiment. Like, we bid away our entire unit. I like it. That'll be fine. Go Clan Jade Falcon. I'm going to hard pass on that one. Hard pass. Let's take a look at what we've got in our mech bay.
Check out this mech bay, Commander. Pretty great, right?
That's interesting.
Like this, there's nothing I can't do.
That's very interesting. We've got a Wolverine. We've got a Hatchetman. Now, what's in that CT? What's in the CT of this Hatchetman? I'm always suspicious of a Hatchetman's center torso. Okay, that's not that bad. This variant is actually pretty decent. It's got all of its cluster ammo, or all of its LBX ammo here, but it is cased. So that's not bad. What is this game about? Never seen it. So this is RogueTech. Oh, this is a kind of terrible place to have the chat box for this screen. Okay, it'll be fine once we get into proper game. This is RogueTech. This is a mod for BattleTech, which is basically mechs, but XCOM, if that makes any sense. That is some good mechs. Yes, I agree. That is actually, we've got some really good mechs to start with. We start off with a Wolverine, a nice variant of a Hatchetman. We've got a Jenner here, which is running... Yeah, this is pretty good, actually. Close range damage output, a melee damage of 133 to start with. That's insane. The Hatchetman, of course, is 173, but 158 for the Wolverine. And then we've got a Mongoose here and a Hornet. Now, the Hornet is not going to be very great. The Hornet's probably going to be our backup mech for a little bit here. And these four will be the ones we run. So let's take a look at our barracks and see what we've got here. We've got Behemoth, we've got Big Tom, we've got Brick, we've got Livefire, Majestic, and Magistrate. Okay, so first off, of course, we got to get the gunnery points and the tactics points. It's so good. Sadly, it's a 6R instead of the 6M, which is the best 55-tonner. Close enough. We're going to spend these pilot points here real quick. There we go.
Training confirmed, Commander. Orders.
And we'll get that all done. We're just going to spend these all exactly the same for the time being, except Big Tom, who's going to get a point of guts here to bring him up to 3s across the board. Okay. And there we go. Big Tom was definitely lacking in some skill compared to everyone else. Oh, did we not get this guy? Oh, I missed two. We have Mongrel and Von Cobra as well. Okay. We've got a lot of mech warriors to start. Do we normally start with this many? I feel like we don't, but okay. We're going to hop into engineering here and get an upgrade going as soon as we can. And what do we want to grab first? Well, I really do like getting this tech point and making our way into having multiple mech bays available. That's pretty good. No doubt about it. The requirement for this is repaired power conduits. So let's see here. Repaired power conduits is this one. We'll go ahead and grab that. That's a cheaper tech point. So that'll be done in 10 days. Sounds good. And now we're ready to deploy. So let's hop over to our command center. And let's see what we've got for contracts here. It'll get populated in soon. It has to generate them. Okay. We probably want to start with something on the easier side. That's a lot of max pay. And this is a 2-skull mission. That's spooky. What is the difficulty of Outreach these days? Let's take a look. We're on planet difficulty, to be clear. I prefer planet difficulty as opposed to the company difficulty. So Outreach is a 3-skull that we start on. That's spicy. We should probably go somewhere a little bit easier. Actually, Capola here with only a 1/2 skull. Let's go ahead and travel there.
Roger that, Commander.
There we go. I just don't want to take that much damage. I guess this is a sentence? You real worked with Dr. Banzai, and they even gave you one of these fine toys, ? Okay, RogueTech modders, you guys need to work on that one. That needs to be workshopped more. Let's see what they did to my boy. No lasting consequences. Okay, but what do we get here? This is what we get from our, like, background. A Hatchman 3F. Okay.
That mech you asked for.
Let's take a look at which variant that is. Again, I'm always suspicious of the center torso in a Hatchman.
Welcome to the grease pit, Commander.
So that's this one. This is the new one. And this is why I'm suspicious of the center torso. Look at that. Dual AC-10 ammo right there in the CT. So I'm going to move these jump jets into the torso here. Actually, we don't need to move both of them. We can move one into each torso. I'm not going to change the armor or anything like that right now. I'm just going to move the autocannon ammo out of that CT. There we go. We'll get that done, and by the time we get to our destination, that'll be done. So we'll proceed here. Beautiful. And we'll, of course, skip through as many of those jump cutscenes as we can. And the Hatchman is now done. We'll continue to tick forward. 4 days left on our Argo upgrade. Some of these can be skipped, some of them can't. This was one that couldn't. Sounds like a lot of paychecks you'll have to pay out at the end of month. I mean, yeah, we will. Our financial report is going to be $353,000 per month already, so it's a lot, for sure. But there's our repaired power conduits done, and next thing that we definitely want to get online as early as possible is a second mech bay. No, not a second mech bay. A second repair slot. So that's this one right here, I believe. The repair scaffolding. No, that's a tech point. Enable second repair bay to work at 100% efficiency. Did they change this? Oh yeah, it's here now. I guess they combined these together. I remember these being separately previously. But it's been a while. They've made a lot of changes. We're to get Mech Bay 2 going. That's an expensive one, but that is important to get that online. So that'll be done in 10 days when we finish up our travel. Beautiful. So we're going to arrive at Capola, and we're going to try to farm up some much cheaper money there.
We've arrived at our
cool.
destination, Commander.
So we arrive here. Yep, flashpoints exist. That's fine. We are aware of these. Cool. So now we need to hop back into engineering, and oh, Rogue's Gallery is our name here. That's actually a pretty cool name. I definitely want to grab the repair scaffolding next. No. Was it this one? I have to scroll down? Wait. Is it only in the tooltip? No, I think I'm just dumb. So we have this at 50% efficiency. This one is the third repair bay at 100% efficiency. I believe the repair scaffolding used to be that, or maybe it moved up to here? Oh, it moved. Okay, it moved on us. I gotcha. So automation, there we go. That's what we want. Fantastic. So next up, we need to deploy. So we'll hop over to the command center and see what we've got here on this system. What do we got? This looks much less spicy. I like it. Okay, so what do we want to go for here? That's a lot of salvage in this Comstar mission. It is one skull, but we're probably okay with that. Assaulting fixed defenses. Oh, it's a destroy base. Okay. This is actually a free priority salvage here. That's probably reasonable to go for something like this for our contract. We'll go ahead and accept that. We do have a striker. And what is our drop weight right now? Our max drop weight. I don't know. We're going to bring our Wolverine, our dual hatchetman. And let's see here. We should probably bring a JR7D, or JR7C rather. We can probably get away with bringing our striker. Can we bring our Mongoose as well? That's a vehicle slot, right. So these are vehicle slots only, and yeah. So that's the best we can do. Cool. That's still pretty good. So we're to bring ourselves in the Wolverine. And then Big Tom has the lowest amount of XP. So I'll bring Big Tom in the striker. Big Tom also only drives vehicles, which is awkward. And then from here, all of the rest of these have similar amounts of XP. So it doesn't really matter who we bring where. We're going to bring Brick, Livefire, and Majestic. And then Magistrate, Mongrel, and Von Cobra will be at home in case we need them for future missions from injuries. Let's go ahead and deploy this. It's a destroy base in jungle. This Wolverine is running an AC5 SRM6 combo and a medium laser. Okay. Just wanted to double check that. Okay. Fantastic. So let's get into this. Now, of course, this will take a little while to load too. That's RogueTech for you. It's just part and parcel of the RogueTech mod set. Loading times are up there. And this is loading off of an SSD too, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. An M.2 SSD at that. So I feel like this is a software problem. It's probably just like engine limitations, things like that. This is made with Unity, if I recall correctly, and things can get a little awkward with Unity mods. But that wasn't too bad, all things considered. The loading screen loading went well. Yes, you heard me correctly. That was a loading screen for the loading screen. That's how this game works. Here's the loading screen. So we need to destroy structures in the smuggling base and escape. Guerrillas on Cupola are surprisingly well-armed and well-supplied, and Comstar forces are taking unacceptable losses in recent engagements. We've tracked the weapons back to a hidden supply base operated by Word. Word of Blake, presumably? That base needs to be destroyed. Assaulting fixed defenses is always a mess, Commander. Fixed gun emplacements can target your units from clear across a battlefield. Stay alert. Clanner with Inner Sphere mechs. Weird. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, but it just kind of happened. We can't choose where we spawn. So we're going to... this will be loaded in pretty soon here. It should be done very shortly. In theory. It's currently completely frozen, but it'll get there.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
There we go. Perfect. So we'll begin this mission. And we'll immediately withdraw... No, I'm kidding. There aren't any nearby reinforcements, but there are fixed gun emplacements. Move up, neutralize the turrets, and level that base. Okay, every bit of damage costs. That is absolutely true. Oh, Comstar is dropping in a lance right up there? Like, right on the base? And we have a secondary to destroy the Blakist garrison. Now, of course, that's going to have 6 units in it because it's Blakist. So that's going to be interesting. But we can deploy, like, over here. We'll have decent cover. We could also deploy up here and advance this way. We'd have decent cover and probably better LOS from up here. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. Let's just deploy these in this cover, kind of like that, as close as we can. This is the closest we can deploy. I believe Comstar is going to deploy right over here, though. The immediate withdraw stat. Yeah. Or strat, rather. Yeah, that's absolutely the way to go. Definitely. So yeah, Comstar definitely deploys right up over here. They've got a scimitar, a line holder. This looks pretty spicy, if I'm honest. Light interdictor turret, a commando, a Pegasus. And that's a standard point defense. A Wasp, Firestarter, Owens, Galleon light tank, light interdictor turret. This is actually not as bad as I thought it was at first. Okay, so our hatchetman can step forward here, but we're not going to. All of these guys have huge amounts of evasive to start with, off of the bat. So we're just going to reserve.
Got it.
And we're going to let them move first. And we'll see what Comstar decides to do here. We don't care if Comstar loses units. That's completely okay by us. Oh, okay. They're burning through some AMS ammo there. That we're okay with, too. So what else is Comstar going to move? They're going to move this Cyclone next. They definitely deployed in an awkward position, but that's okay. We're reasonably fine with this. So the Cyclone moves up and goes for the standard point defense. Another good round of AMS ammo being burned there. Cool. So phase 13, who moves? On the Word of Blake front, I'm not actually sure. Possibly this guy? Yeah, it's probably this mech here. Unless there's one that we don't see. Which, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we should see all of them. Wait, Word of Blake uses units of 6? Yes. Word of Blake and Comstar both use units of 6. And clans use units of 5. Everyone else uses units of 4. Including us.
Waiting on you, Commander.
So the Striker can move forward here. We don't have direct LOS on anything. I think we're going to continue to reserve there. We could move our Hatchetman forward and go for a turret. If we were to sprint, we might be able to get eyes on... Yeah, we can get eyes on this guy way up here, the standard point defense. I don't think it's that important. We're going to continue to reserve for the time being. We do not want to move yet. Comstar will move their Cyclone up. A lot of Comstar Cyclones here. That's some good hits on that interdictor turret. Okay. All good. Good armor reduction there. I like it. Okay. Word of Blake moves their Pegasus up. And helpfully shoots that structure for us. Structure exposure on that Cyclone, which isn't necessarily good, but the building there was helpful. We don't have to do that much damage now. Their Striker moves up. Goes for the light interdictor turret, but that AMS is too much for that. What is that? Like an LRM 10 in that Striker, I think? Oh, 16. Okay. 16 missiles. Interesting. But yeah, their AMS is too strong for missiles right now. Part of the reason why we want to reserve, because we've got a Striker of our own. Okay, this Owens will move next, and it's currently figuring out where it wants to move. If I was it, I would move down here and go for the rear arc on this Cyclone if it could get in range, since there is an exposure there. We'll see if it takes us up on that. There's a lot of options for a unit like an Owens, so it can sometimes take a little while. A barrage on this Striker, huh? Well, better there than on us. That's for sure. Cool. So we can see that barrage will hit everything in this radius. If I was in charge of this Striker here, I'd move it directly into the base, so that they'd bombard their own base. From here, we should probably consider moving forward with our Jenner. Our Jenner is never going to be in range unless we sprint. We can position it here. This is a little bit of a vulnerable spot. But we'd have 4 evasive. A number of their units have already moved, but not enough, I think. We're going to continue to reserve. So phase 10, this is going to be this unit up here. We don't actually know what mech this is, although we could probably identify it. We'll see. Yeah, no, I know about Stars and Lances. Didn't know Comstar and Word of Blake used units of 6. Yep, that's part of the reason why Comstar and Word of Blake are big threats, actually. Like, in terms of the lore, it's because they have huge amounts of Star League-era mechs just sitting in warehouses, and they can just throw numbers at the problem. We're going to continue to reserve here. This will keep us pretty late in the order in future turns, which isn't necessarily ideal. But we want to let all of these guys move first, ideally. Certainly we want to let this guy move. We may not want to let the turrets move before we do. We'll see. But this commando is going to move now. And I think that's their last mech. They're doing a little bit of damage to that Cyclone, but that's really not very much.
What's up,
Okay,
boss?
I think at this point, we do start to move forward. So we sprint forward with this Hatchetman to... Is that a turret there? It is. There's a light turret there. We'll sprint forward to here. Our hit odds are almost certainly going to be very low on this light turret. Let's see what we've got. 6.5%. Okay. We're not going to take that. Just sitting around waiting for people to not pay their HPG bills. Well, that's Comstar until Word of Blake exists.
What can I do for you?
Well, until the battle to Kaid, anyway. More specifically. So our striker is mostly just going to chill out over here. We're not going to get any damage done with the LRM-10 here. But what we are going to do is fire on this light interdictor turret. And it's all going to get AMS'd, to be clear. We're not going to do damage here.
You betcha.
As I said.
Systems recycling for another shot.
There we go. That was fully expected.
What's up, Fox?
The Wolverine is now going to sprint forward up over this way, and from here we could fire on this light interdictor turret or a building, and that's our only options here. Are we better off here to be able to fire on this turret? We actually can't. Okay, so we're just going to have to mostly close in here. What are these options? Here we can fire on this light turret chassis.
Calling ass.
So we'll position up here, and we are going to attempt to fire on this eventually. 8.5. We'll hold off. We're just closing in for the moment, then. At least with that mech. The Comstar line holder moves up, fires on the commando. Oh boy. That was exciting. AMS goes off there. Battle of Kaid never happened. That's just a conspiracy theory. Now that sounds like something Clan Jade Falcon would say.
Commander.
Clan Jade Falcon was not a fan of the Battle of Kaid, that's for sure. So we're going to sprint up over this direction. We're a little bit exposed here with the Jenner, and we cannot use any special pilot actions at this time. But we are still going to go for this light interdictor turret here. We might get some medium lasers in there, but realistically the SRMs are going to get AMS'd. Almost certainly.
Firing. Full complement.
Yeah, we got nothing out of that. But we did manage to burn a little bit of their AMS ammo,
damage.
which is fine. Okay. So now their turrets are going to begin to move. I expect that their turrets are going to focus on the Comstar Lance. Let's see what they've got there. Are we missing a... Like, is this a Comstar Short Lance? No, there's the one up over here. Right, the Striker. I wasn't counting the Striker. So that's the full unit of 6. Good. Okay, so our hatchetmen obviously want to get in close. We're going to sprint them up over this way, and we're almost certainly not going to fire from here. And now those turrets are going to shoot. Quite a lot of machine gun hits there, but nothing too major. Okay. Explosive pods on this Striker as well. Wow. Sure. And that's an ECM pod. Nothing too major there from the turrets, though. So hopefully now that we've gotten through that first round there, hopefully some of those performance issues will be ironed out. It probably had to compile shaders, if I'm guessing. RogueTech is not usually quite that laggy. RogueTech is usually pretty laggy, but that was intense. No doubt about that. Like, this is not a well-optimized mod set, but it is a fun one. So the Owens moves up and fires on the Striker. That's unsurprising. This Striker's going to take a whole lot of damage pretty soon.
Hey there.
At this point, we can definitely continue to move forward. Our hatchetmen will position here, and we have LOS on, like, everything from here. So, we could definitely fire on... Not this. We don't have LOS here. We could definitely fire on the standard point defense. Things are looking up in terms of hit odds. What is our cluster hit odds here? Exactly the same? We'll fire cluster.
No luck.
And completely miss. Okay. Perfect. Well, we'll see what Comstar decides to do here. They're going to move this Cyclone. What have you got, Comstar? Okay, they move over, and they fire on the light interdictor turret. Interestingly, the AMS didn't fire there. against those thermobarics. That's
Standing by.
very interesting. So we're going to move our Jenner in over this direction, I feel like. We'll leave it in cover and have 3 evasive. And we're going to hit this light interdictor turret. We could kill this. Definitely.
Affirmative.
And we did. Beautiful. That was relying on crits, but it was always a possibility. Okay. So next up is going to be our Wolverine, which our Wolverine is not going to sprint. We're just going to move up to here, and from there we could go after, like, this AC5. Or with the AC5, rather. 27%, 42. We'd definitely take the 42%, given those odds. It's still likely that we miss, but we'll try this. I think they jammed their AMS is what happened. There's no way they're out of AMS ammo. We did manage to hit that, so that's great. The Striker moves up and goes for that turret. Gives a lot of armor in there. Without the AMS, they're pretty vulnerable to missiles. So that's great. Okay, what is the Word of Blake going to do here? I should have realized that it was Word of Blake as the op for. I may not have chosen this in that situation, but this is fine. A little bit of internal damage in that Cyclone. They need to turn this guy around. And then the Word of Blake mech overheats and shuts down. That's intriguing. The Comstar Cyclone moves up and goes for the Word of Blake mech that's shut down, obviously. Hit odds are going to be so much better on that. And hits it with flamers, making its heat even worse. Well, that's good. Good job, Comstar. Next up is going to be this guy moving. And if I was him, I'd move over here-ish. Like, maybe here, and fire into the rear arc of this Cyclone. We'll see if that's what Word of Blake ends up doing. Nope, it goes for the Striker instead. It moved to about the same position. The arc may have been a little off. That's a possibility. Okay. Comstar, what are you going to do in Phase 9? You're going to move this Cyclone. I would engage up over this way with it. Okay, yep, going for the light interdictor with the thermobarics. I like it. That structure exposure on that turret. And that's beautiful. And that was on this turret up over here. That's the far turret that we can't really feasibly engage on just yet. But that's okay. I like it. So, the Word of Blake Commando backs off over this way and is going to try to backstab this Cyclone. That's a good move. It only got 1 shot into the exposed area, but it did take out the Thunderbolt 5. So that's a weapon system down for that Cyclone. And that does mean that Comstar's damage output is reduced. Not substantially. I'm not a huge fan of Thunderbolts as it is, but it is reduced. Getting into the middle of the fight between Word of Blake and Comstar as your first op was a little ambitious. Sure. But it's gonna work. We'll be fine. Okay, the Word of Blake vehicle moves up. Goes for that Cyclone rear arc again, but it actually stray shots and hits their allied mech. This one right here, the shutdown mech. Now, our sensors aren't super well receiving of this mech right now, but it got a rear arc. Wow, words are suddenly very difficult. I'm struggling with this. It got a rear arc structure exposure. There we go. We're going to sprint forward our Hatchetmen. Again, Hatchetmen like to be in close. But we may, emphasis on may, be able to fire on this guy. No, we cannot. Okay, 12.5. Maybe we go out this way, 21.7. It would really just be a pot shot. But we do have a chance of destroying this interdictor turret. It's a low chance, but we have a chance, and so we'll roll it. No luck. I'm not surprised by that. Like I said, it was always a long shot. Literally. That was a long-range shot. So we're not shocked about that one. The line holder moves up and goes for the shutdown mech here. It could easily get a kill here. It didn't, but it did destroy an AMS, which is always handy. Cool. So phase 8, that is going to be, the line holder just moved. There's another Comstar unit here that's going to be moving, but that Pegasus is going to go for a rear arc on a Cyclone. Sure. That's not going to do too much. Next up, of course, is us, not Comstar. Apparently, I am blind, but that's fine. We're going to move up to over here with our Striker. Actually, maybe to here. No, here. It's a little vulnerable, but I don't think... I think their hands are full with Comstar right now. I would love to hit this light interdictor turret, and we're basically just crit fishing here. We'll see what we get. Nice. Solid crits there. Turret destroyed. Okay, with that done, that is magnificent. Next up, the Scimitar moves up and fires on this mech and gets a lot of damage in there. Takes out a leg, takes out an arm, and a torso, and the pilot just ejects. They're out of here. So this Striker is going to take a lot of damage when this barrage goes off, but it may also damage this Owens pretty dramatically. This turret is firing on the Striker, and the Striker probably dies here to this barrage. Yes. But it definitely does damage to that Owens as well. I'm not sure I'd call that worthwhile, but it's a thing that happened. Okay, so we're going to move up over here. I would love to start removing armor from this light turret chassis. They may have unjammed their AMS when the round changed there. Let's find out. We're going to fire our LRM at this light turret chassis, and we're now in range to have a solid hit chance.
Roger that. Firing on target.
Their AMS is still offline. Good. Okay, Comstar, this is your moment to shine with all those Cyclones. So this one moves up and turns his back awkwardly and just kind of does a little bit of splash damage to the base. I don't think that was a great move by Comstar. I'll be honest. I don't think that one was a good one. I would have probably ended up going for this point defense and turning my back a little bit further here. It was okay. It wasn't the best move I've ever seen. Certainly. But as I look more at the situation, it's not the worst move I've ever seen. Okay. The damaged Owens is moving up through the chemical fire from the barrage and is going to fire then on this Cyclone, which did turn its back enough, or it faced its exposed structure away, so it's not going to be taking internal damage there. For the moment, that's fine. There's one more Word of Blake mech that's going to move here, or vehicle, I suppose. I'm not actually sure which one it is. Phase 15. Oh, it's going to be this guy. The Commando. Sure. The Commando goes for that Cyclone, and the Cyclone's armor is getting pretty low, but I think that's primarily in the rear arc. Its front arc armor is doing okay. It's not doing great.
Yes, Commander.
But it is certainly doing reasonably. We're going to engage in with our Jenner here. Up to here. And here's the question. Do we go for the Commando? Do we go for the Pegasus? Do we go for the Owens? Do we go for the Wasp? Or do we go for the standard point defense? Looking at the hit odds, it's obvious. It's got to be the standard point defense. So we're going to hit this reasonably hard. I don't think we're going to kill this turret, but we'll strip off a lot of armor. Yeah, that turret is now easily in kill range for another mech. So let's see what this Wasp ends up doing. Wasp is not particularly threatening as far as a mech goes. So what do they got? These light mechs, of course, have a lot of locations. Oh, we're moving directly into the fire. I guess the camera's in the fire. They fired on our Jenner there and dealt 10 damage with an SRM. That's sad. Now we have to repair the Jenner, but
Waiting for
I mean, that's
orders.
to be expected. If I'm honest. That's completely expected. We're going to move up with our hatchetman.
Move order received.
And which turret do we go for here? Definitely the standard point defense. Now, we've got our cluster ammo selected here. We could also go for our slug ammo. I think that in this situation, slug ammo is absolutely better against this turret. It's higher hit odds, and we don't care about the ammo branching out and hitting multiple points. So, slug ammo it is. Structure exposure, it's not dead. We didn't get a crit. That's fine. Let's see what Comstar does here. They're going to be moving their Cyclone from out here. Ah, they go for this point defense. I like that call. A command bunker crit. Unfortunate that they missed the medium laser there. I think that would have killed if they had gotten the medium laser. Okay, so now they're going to move this Galleon light tank. Again, in the category of not particularly threatening is a Galleon light tank. So that's fine. Another thing that would improve performance dramatically in this game is if they'd move the AI processing off of the the main game loop thread. That would be that would be a big way to improve the performance. The Galleon is going to fire on the line holder and ends up stray shotting up here, which I believe is a Comstar mech, which is not particularly helpful.
Commander.
Okay, we're going to move our Wolverine on up.
Move order received.
There we go. And we could fire on this light turret chassis or on the standard point defense here. Both of those would be reasonably okay. With this, we have the option of firing all of our weapons. So we're going to fire this even though it's a slightly lower hit chance on the AC-5. Odds are still good that we'll hit something over here.
Roger that.
We hit literally nothing. Okay, well, there we go. That's fine. Cool. So phase 9. That is, of course, going to be this Cyclone here. Moves up and fires on the light turret chassis. That's really solid. And takes it out with some crits. Good. So there's only one turret left, and that's this guy up here, and it's basically dead. We'll probably leave that to either our Striker or Comstar, whichever takes it out first. And then we'll start focusing on the Word of Blake mechs and vehicles here. So we've got a Pegasus and a Galleon and a Wasp and an Owens. There's another unit here, too. That's the Commando. That's right. Okay. So the Comstar Scimitar moves up, finishes off that standard point defense. That's the right call. So now there are no Word of Blake turrets left. Beautiful.
Waiting for orders.
The Hatchetman is going to close in up over this way. It doesn't really have any targets it can shoot at unless we sprint. And we will do so. It's not the best move to sprint necessarily, but we'll fire on this Wasp. We are probably going to end up stray shotting the Cyclone if I had to bet, but we don't really care about that. That's Comstar's problem, not ours.
All weapons.
We're trying to help. Okay, we didn't actually hit him, but that's fine.
No joy.
We need to get closed in here for sure. Okay. So the line holder moves up, goes for that Wasp. Lower arm destruction, so structure exposure on that arm. That's fine.
Goods to
At
go.
this point, our Jenner can close in here. I would not necessarily be opposed to a melee attack here. Rear arc kick on this Commando. Only a 51.3% chance of successfully meleeing, and we'll be a little vulnerable if we miss that. But let's see. Let's roll the dice. We are, after all, a gambler, according to
Engaging for
the
physical
RNG.
attack.
We did miss the melee
Negative
attack.
damage.
That's
Repeat,
sad.
Negative damage.
But let's see what we get on the actual... Ooh, that went very poorly given the hit odds. That's the fun thing. Anything that is Comstar's problem quickly becomes everyone's problem. You're not wrong about that. Comstar does have a way of making everything everyone else's problem. That's definitely true. Okay, Comstar, what are you going to do here? That was a very poor roll on this Commando. We didn't roll well at all there. We had okay hit odds, but it ended up going poorly. More damage into that Wasp. That's all good. Okay. So phase 13, the Wasp moves. We'll see what it does. If they're bold and feeling spicy, they'll walk behind the Cyclone and do a melee attack like we did with the Jenner. But usually the AI isn't, like, that willing to give up a mech. We'll see. Yeah, backs off here. And actually doesn't fire. Or no, it does fire. Rear arcs on our Jenner. That's obnoxious. Really, through armor, though.
That's my armor.
What's this thing running? It did 5 through armor damage. We don't actually know, but that was interesting.
Ready for orders.
Okay, so our Wolverine could position here. That's a pretty solid sniping position. And we could fire on the Commando. We could fire on the Wasp. I think the Wasp is probably our best choice here. Yeah, we're going to fire on the Wasp here. Okay.
Confirmed.
Oof. Once again, we rolled poorly. It was close, but not quite where we needed those bullets to go. Okay. Next up is going to be this Galleon. Probably also going to come in and rear arc our Jenner, if I had to guess. Like I said, if we missed that, we would be vulnerable, and that's exactly what's happening here. The Galleon actually pulled back over this way. That is not a move I would have made. I would have absolutely come in and backstabbed the Jenner.
I hear you.
Okay, well, the Striker is going to move up over this direction, and we're just going to lob some LRMs at something. 40% on the Owens. That's probably our best bet. What is it on the Commando? Yeah, definitely the Owens. We'll strip off a little bit of armor here. Hopefully. Yeah, heavy on the little.
Yep.
And our Hatchetman can really start to close in here. We're going to position it up over this direction. I'm a little bit concerned about firing on that Commando. We could easily stray shot our Jenner. So instead, I think I'm going to fire on this Owens again, even though the hit odds are a little bit lower. If we stray shot, it'll end up stray shotting the Constar mech, and that's okay.
Acknowledged.
We started a fire, but we didn't actually hit the Owens. I'm not shocked by that.
Negative
We're still
damage.
closing it.
I repeat, negative damage.
Okay. Let's see what Comstar's Cyclones do here. Actually, this is going to be... Yeah, that is a Cyclone. I'd go for the rear arc of that Owens. They're going for the rear arc of the Wasp. That's okay, too, actually. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Arm and torso destruction there. And is this thing unstable yet? No, it is not. I'm a little surprised that that didn't grant instability, but okay. Well, who are they going to move in phase 10? The Commando. Going for the rear arc on the Jenner, I'm sure. Oh, they went for the Cyclone. They should not have done that. They should have gone for the rear arc on the Jenner. Absolutely. That was free. But they didn't choose to do that. The Owens moves now, and then probably this Pegasus. I think that's the other mech. Okay, Owens, where are you going to go? Any moment now, buddy. I know you've got a lot of options. They could move the Pegasus, too. It's all on fire. Yeah, that's what happens with RogueTech. It's not very environmentally friendly. In fact, the game will even yell at you for doing that. But, ooh, okay. So they broke through the armor on the Jenner there.
Internal structure damage.
Is that on the arm? Let's find out. We do need to move the arm and leg. Oh my, that's spicy. Like I said, we knew that if we missed that attack, the Jenner was vulnerable. Luckily, the Pegasus moved up here with the Galleon, so that's not as big of a concern. The Hatchetman is going to sprint over to here.
Roger.
And we are going to go for the... I really want to fire on the Wasp here. Yeah, I think we fire on the Wasp with cluster munitions.
Ready to start. think I hit something good.
There we go. The Wasp ejects. Perfect. Okay, word to Blake, or rather, Comstar, what are you going to do? The Scimitar moves. The Scimitar opts to go for the Commando. And gets some good damage in there. The Commando is close to being unstable. The Line Holder moves up, also hits the Commando. Penetrates the armor on it. And the Commando is unstable
Let's
now.
go.
Okay. The Line Holder instantly moves again and goes for the Owens. That was much less good of a shot there. I would have finished off the Commando. Well, actually, that's only a leg exposure. But I still would have hit the Commando there. Guaranteed. The Cyclone moves up. That's an interesting call. That is definitely not a move I would have made. Okay. Comstar's gotten all of their mechs lined up at the beginning here. That's not a bad thing. The Scimitar going for the Galleon, it actually broke through the armor there. That Galleon is incredibly close to dead then. Interesting.
Goods to
This
go.
game gives us the best camera angles. Yeah, that absolutely happens. I love how the lasers are so freaking useless. That's not necessarily true, but it's mostly true. It's mostly true. So at this point, the Commando is someone I would love to go after with the Jenner, but I really feel like we have to make our way around here and try to hit the rear arc, if we can, of this Owens. Pro tip, we can't, but we can get up over here, get 3 evasive pips, and get our right-hand side facing the wrong way. That's not necessarily what we want. Instead, we could come in here, but that's also dangerous. We could go for the melee attack again. This is less odds. What we really need is to get down here, like this, and expose our left side this way. So we'll position here. Sadly, that puts us a little bit in the line of fire, but we'll go for the Owens here. And we may stray shot the Comstar mech. We'll see. Yeah, we absolutely did. Hilarious. Okay.
Receiving you.
So the Wolverine is going to remain in its sniping position here and hit this Commando. And hopefully hit it super hard.
Taking the shot.
That was not super hard. We hit with 2 SRMs there. Okay. Sad, but understandable. So, phase 13, the Owens moves. This is dangerous to our Jenner, and we'll see what it does. Any moment now, Mr. Owens. You can do it. There's also a mover up over this direction that they may choose to move first, the Galleon. The Galleon we know had an armor blow through and is very vulnerable. So the Owens moves up over on this side and goes for the Wolverine. Drops a barrage on it. Now, is the barrage on the ground or on the Wolverine? That's a question. We'll find out.
Commander.
So the Hatchetman needs to move forward out of the barrage.
On it.
We've got a little time for that, though. And we absolutely fire on the Commando here. Hit odds are much, much better.
This should be good.
That was a solid hit. The Commando's armor is not good at this point. So now that Galleon will move, and we'll see what it decides to do. If I was the Owens, I absolutely would have gone for the Jenner. But that's not the choice that they made, which is very interesting to me. I'm not sure why they chose not to make that choice. But sure. Okay, that Galleon moved away again. It's going to be pursued for now by the Scimitar, most likely.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Our Striker is going to move out of the barrage zone. This is not an ideal position for it, but it'll do. And we can fire on this commando. Actually, these SRMs are pretty decent at this range. That was pretty good.
There's more where that came from.
At the very least, it'll be a knockdown, but no, that's a pilot ejection. Good. So the Cyclone moves up. Now Comstar mechs are going to focus hard on this Owens. They misfired their LRM-5 there. They hot-loaded their LRM in that Cyclone. Okay, that's spicy. I'm not quite sure why they decided to hot-load that, but okay. And then thermobarics on that Owens as well, but whiffing everything. Sad. Okay. So our other hatchetman is going to make its way out of here as well. We have another round to get out of this, so we could technically position it over here instead, and we'll do that. We'll position it here. It's not quite side arc on this Owens. I was hoping we'd get into side arc there, but not quite. That's okay, and we can hit this guy with everything we've got.
Roger that.
That was a solid hit. That Owens is very close to being made unsteady. This is now going to be what, the Pegasus? I think so, yeah. The vehicles are fleeing. And we'll see what they end up doing here. The Pegasus may try to double back and hit the Scimitar. Or it may just try to keep running. Okay.
What do you need?
Well, our hatchetman is going to move in here. And if there's anything that you should know about a hatchetman, it's that you don't want to be physically attacked by one. Now, we're not going to use our physical weapon here, even though it would do a little bit more damage that way, because we are not going to have the actual angle for that. We would be able to do that from, like, over here, but we can't fire the medium lasers at the same time. You only get 70 damage from the physical weapon, and if we kick, you can see it's only 20 more damage, so we'd have the chance of doing an extra 20 damage from kicking here. But you absolutely do not want to be in melee range of a hatchetman. This is not a good plan. For the Owens, that is.
Targeting for a physical attack.
That's a successful melee. That's a very hurt Owens. And a very awkward camera angle, to be sure, but a very hurt Owens nevertheless. He gets knocked down from that as well. Yeah, that Owens is super dead.
Waiting for orders.
The Jenner is just going to move in and get the kill.
Acknowledged.
Okay, little kill stealer, let's do this. So this is a knockdown. We have a called shot. We can go for the CT, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And the pilot ejects. Cool. Okay, so now what's Comstar going to do? Well, they're going to start chasing after the vehicles out there. We're probably not going to do too much of that. They're going to toss some thermobarics out there. And we'll send our Striker out there for sure. But the rest of our vehicles, or rather our mechs, are likely going to start working on the base over here.
I hear
So
ya.
the Striker is absolutely going to head out this way.
Pedal to the metal.
We know that the Galleon has an exposed structure. No, not the medium military building. Tab is going to be awful here. I'm not going to tab. Let's get out of this. There we go. And we're going to go for the Galleon. We know it has an exposed structure. We don't need much damage in there.
Roger that.
So we're just going to lob stuff at it and hope that we hit. We don't hit, but that's okay. Cool. The other Cyclone moves up, tosses more thermobarics out at the Pegasus. Not getting very much done there. But that's okay. The line holder moves up. It's really not going to do too much. Well, actually, it tosses some LRMs. It does get some damage, but nothing that we're actually
How's it going?
that interested in. For now, the hatchetman is going to make its way
On
over
my
here,
way.
and we're going to start leveling this base. So this medium military building has to go. There we go. One down. We need to destroy 3 buildings in this base. Okay, the Scimitar moves up. Does absolutely nothing of note.
Orders.
Our Wolverine is going to start closing in over here, and we are going to go for some of these small military buildings, probably. Yeah, these are only 130 HP. So we'll go for this one.
Taking the shot.
We're not going to kill it, but that's fine. We'll get some good damage in there. Okay. That Pegasus is turning around now. Cool. I'd love it if the vehicles would just come back. In all honesty, that'd be great. But so far, they've not shown a lot of interest in that. There goes that barrage. Kaboom. Yep, we take damage there, but everyone else was out of the barrage area, as expected.
Commander.
The Hatchetman is going to move up over here.
Copy that.
Now, I believe the Hatchetman will be overkill on this building. We're going to go for this one instead. We may stray shot. We'll see.
Roger that.
There was some stray shotting that happened there. So those are both very low. The Cyclone moves up, does not fire its thermobarics.
Good to go.
The Wolverine is going to exit the chemical flames as soon as it can, but it can't just
Roger.
yet. We're going to fire on this building and hope that we stray shot and destroy both of them. That would be great, but
Locking
I'm
on
not...
target.
Actually, we did!
The LZ commander.
We got both of them.
Coming in hot.
Beautiful. Now, where's the evac zone? Awkward. Okay, we're not going to the evac zone. We're going to make our way up over this direction. We're going to sprint towards the Blakest vehicles. And hope that they come back. That'd be awfully nice. Cyclone moves up, fires thermobarics out of that galleon. Ooh. Not a kill. Sad.
can I do
It
for
did
you?
get a hit, but it was not a kill. We're going to move up to here with our striker. We're going to keep firing LRMs out of that galleon. We know its armor is low. No, we don't. I guess that was through armor. Sure. Are we better off on the Pegasus? No, we are not. Okay. Galleon it is. Little bit of damage in there. Not a ton. Both of these move this round, as well as this Cyclone. Another decent thermobarics hit on that galleon. I really wish these tanks would come back. Any moment now, tanks. You can do it. I have faith. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but our striker pilot is named Big Tom. It's not the correct adjective. But we definitely need to get this man a Long Tom artillery vehicle.
Yes.
He can only drive vehicles, remember. He cannot drive any sort of mech. So it would have to be a vehicle. We're going to park the Jenner out over here. I'm not going to expose the Jenner to any additional enemy fire. But hopefully, we can get these vehicles eliminated relatively quickly. Man, that galleon, it just keeps going further away. Where's the map edge? I don't know. We'll find out. Good hits on the Pegasus there. Okay, it's pretty close to the map edge. The line holder goes for the galleon. I don't believe it got any hits in there. Okay. So at this point, it is Brick's turn. And Brick is going to sprint out over here.
Acknowledge.
He does have a direct line of sight on this Pegasus, but it's out of his vision range. So odds are going to be pretty low. 40 damage. Not the worst I've seen, that's for sure.
Let's do this.
Okay, Majestic is just chilling up here.
Bracing for impact.
That Jenner is too damaged to risk further. The Cyclone fires on the Galleon. It does get a little damage in there. Okay. Now what does the Pegasus do? Does it engage or does it flee? We'll see. was a bit of flee, but not much. That was mostly holding its ground. Sounds good. Okay, next up is going to be Big Tom here. We're going to sprint on forward. Actually, right here. That's optimal range.
Got it. Max speed, no shooting.
And hit odds are not the best I've ever seen, mostly because of firing into trees and evasive pips, but
Firing everything I've got.
let's get what we can in there. Some damage. Not an absolute ton. The galleon stayed put.
Ready for order.
Okay. Our second hatchetman is going to start sprinting up over this way, but it mostly needs to sink heat this round, so that it can move at full speed next round. The Cyclone moves up and unjams its machine gun. Good job. The Scimitar moves up, goes for the Pegasus, and gets a couple more hits in there. Nothing too major. Okay.
Orders.
Our Wolverine is going to start sprinting over towards this pass over here.
Affirmative.
And no, vigilance is not going to be a thing. Okay. The line holder moves up, fires LRMs out at that galleon, gets 5 damage. Not great. Cool. So a Cyclone moves up here, fires on that galleon. 2 damage. Going for the Pegasus? Nothing. Well, word of Blake, I'm going to need you guys to stop being cowards. This is well within the minimum range of the LRM. That is understood. We're not going to be firing the LRM. Well, we could fire the LRM at this range. Yeah, let's do it.
All weapons are go.
We did get a few LRM hits there. Okay. Is it just me, or did they buff SRM damage at some point? It used to be 8 per missile. Now it appears to be 10.
Standing by.
That's pretty huge, actually. Okay, all we get is LOS over here, but that's with the Jenner. What am I doing? Stop, Jenner. You're not going in. Okay. The line holder moves up and fires on the Pegasus. Misses its large laser. Gets a couple of missile hits. Cool. At this point, our far hatchetman needs to be sprinting up over here. There we go.
Standing by.
And our Wolverine is going to make its way around over here. We see a rear arc on this galleon. That is really far away,
Going full throttle.
and our hit odds are probably going to be really bad. What do we got? 27? That's not as bad as I expected. We'll
Rear
roll
arc
it, but I will be shocked if we hit.
Negative damage.
Yeah, that was a literal long shot there, again. Literally, that was a long shot. So, some good missiles coming in there, including a little through armor. But that was not an armor penetration. We can see that the armor on the left side here, so on this side, is weak.
What do you need?
We can move in with our hatchetman
Moving out.
and try to exploit that, but the hatchetman is not really going to be able to target that side specifically, and it just completely misses anyway. That's more going to be the striker that's going to do that.
That's a miss.
So the Pegasus moves in phase 9, which is right now, and let's keep track of where it moves here. We want to position the striker, which will be a next round sort of thing. Or rather, next turn sort of thing. We want to position the striker. It didn't move?
That was a heavy hit, Commander.
Is it going to ace pilot? No, it just doesn't move. No evasive pips.
Good to go.
So we can just position right here then, in the side arc. And this Pegasus is just super dead. Okay.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
I mean, unless we just don't happen to hit the side arc at all. That can happen. Yeah, all of that hit the front. Awkward. Very awkward. We were in the side arc, but the roll was not great. That's okay. We did get a lot of damage done, and we're closing in here.
Receiving you.
We're not going to move in the Jenner. The Jenner's too
Roger.
low.
Venting heat and stabilize.
So 3 Comstar units are going to move here. The Cyclone. And not fires. Yeah. It should have fired there. The Scimitar moves in, also trying to exploit that weak side. More armor penetration there. But it's not technically through the armor yet. That's all just through armor damage. The line holder moves up, goes for the Pegasus as well, hits the large laser. And that's a structure exposure. Beautiful. In this side arc. Less beautiful.
Orders.
Our hatchetman is going to close in over this way. The best we can do here is front arc and hope. There is a chance here that we manage to get it into here.
Confirm.
Or we could miss everything. That works too.
Targeting systems janky.
No, that wasn't the targeting systems. That was just you failing, bud. The Cyclone moves up, actually moves back a little bit. Fires a medium laser in there. Gets a little bit of damage, but that's only like a third of the remaining front armor. Like, that's not gonna... It's not gonna do anything. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Thermobarracks getting in there, and all that's left is the Galleon. Let's get that guy down.
Good to go.
So our Wolverine is able to close in here. And that should increase the odds of this a little bit. Yeah, to 35%. We'll go ahead and fire that.
Gotcha.
Oh, we missed again. I'm not shocked.
Missed.
Okay. Strikers are wheeled vehicles, not hovercraft, aren't they? That's going to be a little awkward for getting out here, but I think we're okay. I think there's a path. So the Wolverine can continue to close in over this way, get a little closer here.
Copy that.
There we go, 67.9%. Now we're starting to see some hit odds.
Got the angle. Taking the shot.
Not sure if that hit or not. That camera zoom in motion usually means that it hit. But I didn't see any damage numbers. That said, its rear arc is
Light
heavily
damage,
damaged.
Commander.
Now it just didn't move again, which is interesting. We're going to move Big Tom in here, and I would love to get onto that hill. It's not going to happen. So we're just going to move in and not fire.
Yep.
Our hatchetman is not seeing any LOS over here, which is not shocking. It's hiding behind that hill.
Commander.
The Jenner is going to chill. It is 2 wounded, and we'll see what our allies do here. Cyclone launching some thermobarracks in there, barely doing any damage. Okay.
How's it going?
Our other hatchetman is going to attempt to sprint in.
Copy that.
We'll see how much he can actually get done there. Very little is the answer. Cyclone moves up and does literally nothing. Sad. The Scimitar also doesn't fire from there. Lineholder gets some LRM damage into that rear arc. I like it. Okay.
Standing by.
So at this point, we move Brick forward.
On my way. Double time.
No damage there, of course. We don't have LOS. The Jenner chills.
Taking a protective stance.
And at this point, Comstar is going to move up their Cyclone. Thermobarracks going in there. Only 1 Thermobarrack. They may be out of ammo for that now. But they got no damage. Big Tom is now going to move in here. We could ram this vehicle, actually. I don't hate that idea. I always forget that they added... Oh, yeah, it's a charge. That's right. Well, it's only 15 damage, and instability doesn't really matter, but we are low on this angle of armor, so we should probably not do that. I always forget that they added that in, but let's just position here.
On my way.
And we're going to hit this guy rear arc with all of our SRMs. In theory, this could very easily be a kill.
Murdering every
Yep, there we go. Beautiful.
enemy.
Well,
down.
that was an interesting first operation, for sure.
Mission successful.
Gotta love having Comstar v. Word of Blake as your first mission. But ultimately, we didn't take all that much damage. The Jenner was exposed, but it didn't actually take all that much internal damage. So it won't be too bad to get repaired. And everything else should be just fine. We, I think, can just have Yang get all of the repairs going. I don't think we lost any components on the Jenner. I'd have to double check that. But we'll see. So we got 473,000 C-bills for that. Thanks, Comstar. Okay, let's go through this real quick. Yeah, we lost no components on the Jenner. So that was absolutely great. That went really well. We also have 5 items that we can salvage here. We could get a full Owens if we wanted one. I'm not sure how useful that really is at this stage of the game, though, because repairing that's going to be very expensive. An ER large laser is pretty solid. Endosteel structure is good to have around. Might grab 2 of those. Double heat sinks and a double heat sink kit. Oh, and Heavy Ferro. But Heavy Ferro is not great at this tonnage range, so we'll not be too worried about that. This is very good salvage. Very good salvage indeed. We ended up getting 2 Pegasus parts, a Wasp part, an Owens part. From the roulette, we got all of this. That's very good. Like, that was a lot of salvage. I like it. Okay, so we're going to need to get repairs done here. And what do you think that's going to cost us, Yang? My bet is 118,684 C-bills. I know that's oddly specific. But that's what I'm thinking. 118,684. What do you think, Yang? Do you agree? We'll see. He's adding it up on his fingers. Nope, I was way off. 21,418. That's I like your estimate better, Yang. Do it. I'm used to having to work on like endosteel structure and stuff, I think. But that's all completely okay. So we are definitely going to work our way through this pretty quickly. 8 days in total there. And automation will be done in 6. Financial report in 10 days, which is a little spooky, but we're going to be able to deploy before then. Let's tick forward. We'll get all of our mech warriors back. Automation finishes. Ooh, okay. So 1 million C-bills, and we get a mech out of it. We don't know what mech it will be. It's completely random. And I'm usually disappointed in it. I usually say that it wasn't worth it, but we're going to try. Let's see what happens. Brick is now a criminal. Mongrel is in high spirits for 30 days. And we got a Hollander. Interesting. That's quite the fire support mech for right now. That is actually a good deal. That's an F3 variant, which does come with a laser hardpoint.
That mech you asked for
Okay.
is cleared for fighting.
So let's take a quick look at what it's got. Now, it should have some form of a Gauss rifle. Let's see. It's also running endosteel structure. It's got stable weapons. Yeah, it's got a Gauss rifle with a double Gauss rifle ammo. I'm moving that out of the CT. There we go. That'll be much better. And then, can we get more armor on that? No, we cannot. We're already running endosteel structure. And do we have a laser on this? The answer is no. So it's running just a Gauss rifle. Once it burns through those 20 shots, it's done. All you can do with it from there is melee. And it's got an engine core 175, so you're not going anywhere quickly. Or any time quickly, I should say. So the laser hardpoint is in the head. Why is the heat efficiency... This is way overkill on the heat. We should drop the heatsink from the head and put in like a medium laser here. Now, that does put us overweight. Why is that? Oh, was that a free heatsink? That was a free heatsink. Okay, that makes sense. So we would put that heatsink back on, but move it over like here. Yeah, free heatsink. Oof. So that, of course, means that we can't do that. Okay. Well, we'll just move the armor, or the ammo, rather. We'll just move the ammo over to the leg.
I'll let you know when that's done.
And that should be done reasonably soon. We're going to tick forward a couple of days here, but we need to get an engineering upgrade going. Our funds are definitely diminishing. There's no doubt about that. And I want to grab a super cheap upgrade here. This one. This is the one that we grab. It'll reduce our upkeep by 5%. And it will also be super cheap. It'll pay for itself eventually. So we'll grab that and get that going. Now we tick forward a couple of days to get our mechs ready to go. We may not have the Hollander good to go. Yeah, we're not going to have the Hollander good to go before the financial report, but I do want to deploy before the financial report here. Maybe do some painting. I mean, we could. I do always enjoy going into the customized company and making our company colors be a nice garish shade of magenta. That's always glorious. What is the most garish magenta shade we've got here? I think this one is the most garish. It's not super garish, if I'm honest, but it'll do. Maximal magenta. And of course, this is just a this is just a joke from when the materials often wouldn't load in. But there we go. Beautiful. So we'll hop over to the mech bay and we'll take a look at our shiny new magenta mechs. Glorious. I like it. Yep, that's the way to go. Okay, we'll hop into the command center here. Actually, we should check to see if there's any mech warrior upgrades we can do first. Let's see.
Commander.
Waiting for orders.
Actually, yeah. Big Tom can grab a gunnery point. Fantastic. Have fun with that one, Big Tom. Now you can hit things slightly more frequently.
I'm here. Standing by.
Receiving you.
Okay. So now we're ready to deploy.
Hey, Commander. Pull up a chair.
What do we want to go for here? This one looks spicy. Against the Lyran Commonwealth. That should be okay. Good pay, good salvage. No free priority salvage here. Maybe just run it straight down the middle. Cool. So we'll run all the same mechs for now. The Hollander is still being worked on, and the Mongoose and the Hornet are really just backups. We should not deploy them if we can at all help it. So we'll go ahead and deploy this as it is. This is an assassinate mission. So we're going to have a particular target that we're going after. There probably at this difficulty, there's probably going to be no support lances. There will be a defensive lance, and then there will be the target himself, most likely. So I'm expecting 5 enemies. If there are any more, things have definitely gone sideways on us. We'll see if that ends up happening. Fantastic. So the loading screen will load on in here. That's usually not too bad of a wait, as far as RogueTech loading goes anyway. Let's see what we've got. Anytime now. There we go. So we need to destroy the target and escape. We have an opportunity to eliminate a key figure in the Lyran hierarchy in this system, which will leave their organization in chaos and ensure safety for Merrick operations. The target will be relatively unguarded and vulnerable, and we'd like you to strike in this window of opportunity. Sounds like we'll be hitting a middle manager. Not much glory, but it pays. The target won't be alone, Commander, and there's a bonus if we clean up the escorting units. Still, if things get too hot, we can always hit and run. We can try, anyway. Oftentimes, it decides to put our evac point right in the middle of all of the enemy mechs, so there's that.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and begin this. And this mission should go a little faster, in theory.
Command interface
Our intel was right.
initiated.
The target is in the AO and only lightly guarded. A lot of Lyran activity in the vicinity of the target. How much? We do have allies. Okay, so there's supporting enemy forces up over this way. We'll just drop in here. I don't like where it generated those positions. I don't want to be stuck on that rock. Okay, that's better. Of course, careful maneuvering exists now, so that's a thing. Oh, hello. Merrick's bringing a warrior to this party. Sure. They've also got a hunter, they've got a cyclone, and they've got a cicada. And then we immediately see a Lyran Phoenix here. As well as an autogun technical here. A hunchback. Ooh, that's spicy. And a Shadowhawk. That's a hunchback 1G. That's a cyclone firing at that technical. The thermobarics are not very effective right now. So I think this is the bad variant of the hunchback where it's running rifles rather than autocannons. If I remember correctly, that's the 1G model.
Standing by.
Our Jenner can make its way up over here and backstab this Phoenix. The problem, of course, is that it has 6 evasive bits. So for this first round, we'll reserve.
Let's see what happens.
Now, this is the target unit that's firing here. Or not firing, but rather moving. And it's going to make its way over here, or just chill out over this way. One or the other. But we need to reserve at least until this Phoenix moves. Which will be now.
Roger that. Standing by.
Okay. So the Phoenix will move now, and it just kind of runs away.
Ready
Cool.
for orders.
So the Hatchetman is going to close in up over this way. We're not able to get an LOS here. That's fine.
Good to go.
The Jenner is going to make its way up over here, but I don't want to get too far ahead with the Jenner. We're just going to park here for the moment. No LOS
Aiming
for
at
now.
you, Commander.
The Striker is going to move up into these trees as well. We're not going to fire.
Pedal to the metal.
For the moment, we're just closing in. That Hunchback just braced.
Ready for
Interesting.
orders.
The Hatchetman closes in here a bit.
Going full throttle.
And our Wolverine does as well. We'll move that up over here just to have some
no
cover.
shooting. Just running.
Okay. So our allies are going to lob a few missiles. I have no idea if those did anything. Oh. They dropped mines up here. That's not helpful, friends. That's not helpful at all.
Good to go.
I guess our Hatchetman is going to... Actually, we can fire rear arc on this Phoenix from here and still be in cover. We'll only have the one evasive bit.
Received.
And the hit odds aren't great. But we could potentially do a lot of damage here. Or no damage at all. That works too.
That's a miss.
Cool. So no damage whatsoever there. Cyclone moves up and fires on the autogun technical. We'll see if these thermobarics do anything. A little bit of armor damage. Now that technical isn't very threatening. It's the Hunchback that's threatening. Technical just kind of runs away a little
I
bit.
hear ya.
The Striker, I would love to have that make its way around. These are Thunder Mines. Okay. I'd love to have it make its way around over here and backstab the Hunchy. For the time being, this is out of LOS, and we're going to position it over here. We do hit one landmine, so that's a thing. But not much damage there. Our friend the Cicada moves up and hits the rear arc of this Phoenix, stripping down the rear armor a little bit. Now, the rear arc of that Phoenix is very lightly armored.
Yes, boss.
Our Jenner is definitely going to want to make its way in over here. Now, this is a little bit risky to go here because of the Hunchy here. Yeah, it's got the heavy and medium rifle. I think we're going to position out over... Can we get 3 evasive and hit the rear arc of this thing? No, but we can position it here. That's not great, necessarily. I would prefer to position here. Well, really, I'd prefer to position here. The Hunchy is threatening to the Jenner, though. I'm going to reserve the Jenner for right now. The Hunchy steps back, fires on the Striker, and blows up those landmines, setting its own cover on fire. Now that's interesting. I'm not entirely certain what the point of that was. The Hunter fires on the autogun technical there and gets nothing done. Literally nothing. Okay, sure. So phase 9 is going to be that Shadowhawk over there. Sure.
Waiting for orders.
Okay. So our Wolverine is going to sprint to... Ooh. This is just inside of minimum range.
On the move. Full speed.
But it'll have to do.
Affirmative.
Got very little done there. It wasn't an ideal position.
Hey there.
But it was the only position available. So we rolled it. It didn't work.
Copy that.
The Hatchetmen will start closing in up here. Okay. Phase 7. So I believe that this is the Phoenix. Yes. We'll see what it does. More mines.
Receiving you.
Okay. So I'm going to engage the Jenner up over this way. We're going to run down the autogun technical and make sure that our allies don't waste any more time on this. That said, it's got 4 evasive pips and tandem rockets. Okay. We'll see if we can eliminate this autogun technical, hopefully. Not quite. We got a structure exposure on it. And it moves immediately. So we'll see what it does with those tandem rockets. They could potentially hurt our Jenner. In theory, they can theoretically just straight up one-shot any mech in the game, but it's pretty unlikely.
Standing by.
The Hatchetman is going to close in up over this direction,
Got it.
and I'd like to engage with one of these mechs. Hit odds are low, mostly because of the fire,
Give it everything I've got.
but that was a decent hit on that Hunchy. I like it. Okay. So this is going to be the target unit moving. We don't know what that is just yet. Our other Hatchetman can close in over here.
Move order received.
Okay, sure. Those landmines are not helpful, but we can definitely fire on this Hunchy, and we have pretty good hit odds here. Now the question is, do we want to fire Slug or Cluster? And I think the answer here is Cluster. I don't really care where it hits on the side arc. I just want to lessen armor.
Giving them everything I've got.
Nice. We broke through the armor there. Only in the arm, but that's fine. And that's the good arm for the Hunchy, because this torso for a Hunchback is where all of the weaponry is. So that's great. Our friend the Cicada moves up, fires on that autogun technical, doesn't take it out. Okay. The Shadowhawk moves in, engages our Hatchetman. For the time being,
Report
this is okay.
minimal damage.
How's it going?
Our Jenner is going to make its way up over this direction, chilling in this forest.
Moving to position.
We're going to try to finish off this autogun technical. That did not go well. Okay. Hunter moves up, does not fire.
What can I do for you?
At this moment, our Striker is going to come around over this way,
Coordinates received.
and we're going to hit the front arc of this Hunchy. We made it unsteady. Now, it hasn't moved yet this round, but its armor is also getting incredibly low. Cyclone moves up, fires on the autogun technical, completely fails. Having a really hard time hitting this autogun technical, but it'll be
What's
okay.
up, boss?
Our Wolverine is, at this point, going to come into this side arc. Yes, there's flames along the way. Yeah, that's in minimum range. Maybe we go up here instead. We definitely come up here instead. And then we position about like this. We're going to be side arc to this Shadowhawk. But we could do a lot of damage to this Hunchy here.
Firing full complement on him. Target's taken a critical hit.
Okay. We got a head hit there, of all things. Wow. He has 2 HP in that head. Okay. And 1 HP in the arm. What are the odds of that one? Okay. So the Phoenix closes in on our Wolverine there. That's not a good call, in my opinion. The Hunchback moves up, attempts to fire on our Wolverine, and misses. This is fine. No problem whatsoever here. So the technical is going to move next. Cool. There we go. And what are they going to do with their target unit? We still don't know what that is. Interesting. It's got some AoE LRMs. And clearly some sort of sensor suppression. Well, our Hatchetman can definitely come in on the Hunchback here. I want to hit him in the front arc here. I want to kick him and hit him with everything we've got.
Copy that.
That's a successful kick. That's a lot of damage to that Hunchback. We're kind of in the middle of a blazing inferno. There's no doubt about that. But that Hunchy is incredibly close to death now. The Cyclone goes for the autogun technical. It gets a little bit of damage in there. Was that enough? The answer is no.
Waiting on you, Commander.
At this point, I want the Striker to make its way around back here. I would like to hit the rear arc of this
Got it.
Phoenix.
Max speed, no shooting.
Or we could hit the side arc of the Hunchy and possibly kill it. But no, I want the Phoenix here. These hit odds are good enough. This Phoenix has very little rear arc armor.
All weapons are go.
And there we go. That's one dead Phoenix. Beautiful.
Gotcha.
So with that guy dead, that is fantastic. The Hunchy is very close to dead. The Cicada's hitting the Hunchy here. He could die. He could die to that. He does not, but it was close. This Hatchetman is going to come up here and start engaging this Shadowhawk.
Move into position.
Only 40 damage going in there, but that's fine.
Waiting for orders.
And at this point, I kind of want the Jenner to come in and backstab the Shadowhawk, don't I? I kind of do. What would the rear arc kick hit odds look like? 44.7, but the technical and the mech up here aren't that threatening to the Jenner, I feel like. It's a slight risk.
Putting my weight into it.
We did not hit the kick, which is sad, but it's not the end of the world. But now he's unsettled. Okay. So at this point, the Shadowhawk will move. Goes through the Wolverine's rear arc. The Wolverine is fine. That's not a concern. Okay. Our friend the Hunter moves up, does nothing of note. The Hunchy moves now. We'll see what he does. Fires on the Hatchetman, misses everything. Cool.
Orders.
So I feel at this point like the Wolverine should come up here to engage the Shadowhawk. So that's what we'll do. Hit odds aren't the best here, but that's fine.
Shot.
Get some front arc damage there just to keep him distracted a little bit, and then the Jenner will close in for the rear arc kill in the next round. Phase 16 move here, and that's probably the autogun technical, which, if they're smart, will go for the rear arc attack on the Jenner here. But they're not smart, so that's fine. No concerns there. Cyclone moves up, goes for the Shadowhawk. Get some heat in there, I guess. That's okay. No big deal there. So that Hunchy is going to be dead incredibly soon. More attacks on the Shadowhawk. Not a terrible idea.
Commander.
And now our Jenner is going to come in here. We're going to hit the Shadowhawk in the rear arc again. Hopefully we actually hit it this time. Nope. We're 0 for 4 at this point on these rear arc melees. I like it.
Negative damage.
Engine primitive crit there. Primitive
Target
engine.
taken a
Yikes.
critical hit.
Okay. The Hunter moves up. Doesn't do anything. And this is that mystery mech up here. Or vehicle, I suppose. It's a mystery unit. Ah, it's a Jenner. Okay, good to know. We saw it very briefly there. So our striker is going to come in over this way.
No sweat.
And we're going to see if the striker can get the kill on this Hunchy. I think the odds on that are pretty decent, especially depending on what's in this leg. And yep, there we go. One dead Hunchy. Beautiful.
Should have run when you had
We'll
the
see if we can
chance.
salvage that, or part of it anyway. We're going to move up with our Wolverine here, and the Wolverine could also go for the rear arc attack here. Is this rear? Yeah, that's rear arc. Rear arc kick. Do it. Also 44.7%. Hey, we hit that one. Beautiful. We didn't hit that much else. We got an engine primitive crit, I suppose, but
Yes, Commander.
not the best. Now we can come in with the Hatchetman for a side arc. We're better off kicking here.
Location confirmed.
Cool. So here's a side arc kick. That'll be a knockdown at the very least on this Shadowhawk, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he ejects here.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, no, he didn't eject.
Yes, Commander.
Interesting. We're going to walk up over here and try to finish the job with the Hatchetman, but he is on his back here, so we're going to have to go for like this torso.
Target is pronounced stress.
And there we go. That's one dead mech. Cool.
Target neutralized. This heat is cooking my internal
Okay,
structure.
so at this point, we are, of course, going to need to go after that autogun technical with our Jenner. And the rest of our mechs are going to go after their Jenner for the target unit. Okay,
Waiting
so
for
this
orders.
Hatchetman is going to sprint its way up over here, but its heat is super high, and it will need to drop heat. For a couple of rounds, actually. The Hatchetman can see up over here, so we may as well pot shot this technical just in case. Actually, that's a kill. That was a low odds kill there, but I like it. That was great. So, of course, now our Jenner is freed up to make its way. It's unstable this turn, but it can make its way up over this way
On my way.
and try to find that enemy Jenner. We know it was up over here. So let's see if we can see it. There it is. Okay, that's fine.
Light damage. Holding firm.
No real problem there at all.
Damage is minor, Commander.
And our striker is going to... Hello. Was that a direct LOS? That is a direct LOS.
turbo.
Our striker is going to position here. And we'll pot shot some LRMs. Hey, nice. 12 damage. Okay, our Cyclone moves up, doesn't do anything.
Yes, Commander.
The Wolverine is, of course, going to move up as well. This is a direct
Going
LOS
full
here.
throttle.
I like it. 0.9%. Okay, we're not going to roll a 0.9% chance. The Cicada moves up, doesn't do anything of note. Same with the Hunter. And the Warrior fires on that Jenner. Okay. And apparently the game minimizes. Cool. So we're going to move up with our Jenner here and look to engage them as soon as we can. We'll just sprint up to here. That'll be like a next round sort of thing that I think we'll be able to engage them. I hope.
Receiving you.
The hatchetman will close in,
Copy that.
but no LOS for us here. Cicada dropping some missiles in on that Jenner. The Jenner is actually getting pretty low on armor already. So that's good to know. It'll move here, and let's see what it does. Okay, just shoots at our Wolverine. Not a big deal. That's completely fine. He is still quite a ways out there. So our hatchetman will sprint up, and this is out of range. We'll just drop a little heat.
I can give you fast.
Our striker will continue to close in.
Pedal to the metal.
And we're going to fire on that Jenner. Nice. Decent chunk of damage there. Cyclone closes in. Does not fire. Maybe it's out of thermobaric ammo. Warrior fires a breaching shot on that Jenner. Okay. Gets at least 10 damage in there. I think the Hunter's out of ammo.
Good to go.
Our Wolverine will close in here. I'm not sprinting at this point, just walking in. And we'll pop shot the AC5 at 12.5%. But yeah, we're deeply unsurprised that we missed that. Okay.
I hear you.
So our striker is going to close in as fast as it can. Is this now within SRM range? Barely, but yes.
This should be good.
Okay, a structure exposure on that Jenner there. Nice. Our hatchetman will sprint up.
On my way.
It's
Double
pretty
tap.
far out of range.
Receiving.
Our Wolverine will close in and
Location
take a pot shot
confirmed.
here with its AC5.
Roger that.
No luck, but we're not surprised by that one. Cool.
Yes, Commander.
The Jenner is going to sprint on up over this way.
On my way.
It does
Double
not get an
time.
LOS just yet. Honestly, we could easily kill it with the striker next round, so that would be great. Cool. Any moment now, Jenner. What you gonna decide to do? Barely step forward and fire on our striker. An interesting choice, to be sure. We're going to sprint up here. We do get an LOS for our AC5 here. Or our LBX AC10, actually. We can try this. 30% odds.
Got it.
Okay. The cluster getting us a couple of hits there. Cyclone moves up. It does still have thermobarics. Cool. Okay. Next up, the Warrior moves in, fires some missiles. That Jenner is getting to the point, at this point, where any stray hit could potentially kill it. So that's great. Okay, now it's our turn.
Commander.
So the Jenner is going to move in here and sprint in here. Hit odds of 35% are not the best I've ever seen, but that's some decent damage there.
Receiving you.
Next up, our hatchetman. We're not going to try to pot shot past our Jenner there. Too high of a chance of stray shot. So we're not going to do that.
Commander.
The hatchetman will just, both of them, continue to close in. What we want at this point is Big Tom. Big
can I do
Tom
for
can
you?
do this. So we're going to move Big Tom into here. Yes, we're in
Got it.
the minimum
Speed,
range
no
for
shooting.
LRMs. We could hot load the LRMs if we wanted to. We'll give it a go. They're probably going to break from that, but
Take this.
okay. No kill on the Jenner,
When I
but
shoot you,
heavy
you'll
damage
take
to it.
And like it.
And no misfire from the LRMs either. That's
Yes,
rare.
Commander.
Our Wolverine is going to move up.
Hauling ass.
And next round, it will be the Jenner that finishes this off, assuming it survives our friendly units here. Which it survived one. Does it survive the other? Well, we'll see. Moves way away. It's running. Okay. The Cicada will fire some missiles and miss. That's okay. Warrior moves up, also fires missiles, softens up that rear armor a bit. There's not much in the rear armor, to be fair. And this thing's just a Jenner. It is an Oxide Jenner, but it's a Jenner nevertheless.
Yep.
So next up, our Hatchetman will sprint up.
Roger
This
that.
is fine. There we go. The Cyclone moves on up as well.
Good to go.
And our Jenner is just going to close in here as much as it possibly can.
On the move. Full speed.
There we go. Only 27% chance.
Here we go.
Yikes. That thing's very close to being unsteady, though. I'm hoping that our ally will hit it with one more missile here and make it unsteady. Sadly, no missile hit there. What else do we got? Cicada moves up. Thermobarics. Nope, just regular missiles. No hits. So it's not unsteady. Sad.
Waiting on
Well,
you,
Big
Commander.
Tom, it's all on you. Not going to hot load this on these hit odds. Just not going to.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Well, he'll definitely be unsteady after that one.
Need something, Chief?
Our Hatchetman will sprint up to here. How's that
Full speed, no
LOS? Honestly, I think the odds of stray shot are low. We'll take this.
One in the back.
Nope.
Reporting negative damage.
50%. Sad.
Receiving you.
What about our stray shot odds here? We might stray shot, but we'll see.
Target locked.
Oh, that's a nice shot. That was a really nice shot. The Hunter moves up. I believe it's out of ammo. And now the Jenner moves, so we weren't able to make full use of the instability, which is sad. But it is what it is. Okay, so the Jenner moves up and instantly ejects. Okay. That's one way to do
Mission
things.
Successful.
That was perhaps the most anticlimactic way for that mission to end. I love it. That was great. Fantastic. So what are we going to get from salvage? I'm hoping for some hunchy parts, although that's a crappy hunchy type. Like, that variant of the Hunchback is not good, so we'd have to pay quite a bit to get it upgraded to a decent variant. But that's probably reasonably okay. We'll see what we've got available here. There's a single Hunchback part. We can also take Shadowhawk parts. Interesting. What else is in here? I mean, AX SRM ammo, but I think we'll maybe take Shadowhawk parts here. Cool. Okay, we also got a couple of Jenner parts. Fuel cell engines. I don't like fuel cell engines. I'm just going to sell that for the cash. Primitive FCS, no thank you. Basic sensors are okay. Listen kill LRMs are pretty good. AC5 ammo, sure. We did get the AX SRM and Deadfire SRM ammo. I like it. That's really solid. Okay, that's absolutely great. I'm really, really happy with that. As far as the damage we took, it was very minor. I expect this to be incredibly minimal repairs. Melee combat, this tip up here said, melee combat in RogueTech is dramatically more difficult to start off with, but a specialized melee mech is a nightmare. That is absolutely true. I've seen screenshots in the RogueTech Discord of mechs doing like 3,000 damage per melee attack. It's insane. It can get nutty. There's no doubt about that one. Okay, so what do we got for repairs, Yang? 13K, not bad. Not bad at all. So the Wolverine is going to take the longest. That's fine. We're going to have to take our financial report here. That's completely expected. We knew that that was going to happen.
I've got the financial report.
Yep, that's completely okay. So we'll take forward for a couple of days here. while we get our work done and our mech warriors back. The work done is the more important thing. We do have some spare mech warriors.
Nice to see you down
Okay,
there.
so we now have that Hollander ready to go. That's great. So with that Hollander ready to go, we're probably going to end up dropping one hatchetman for now. We don't need 2 mechs filling that same role, most likely. Let's go ahead and hop into the barracks here. And we are going to see if anybody needs any training. Brick does. For now, we'll take a point of piloting.
Warrior training complete.
Cool.
Commander?
Yes, boss.
Aye, aye. Ready.
And that is all just fine. Okay, let's hop into the command center, and we're ready to redeploy. So let's do that. Let's go out again. What do we got here? I want something that's going to be relatively quick and easy. I mean, a nice battle here might not be too bad. Blakest forces, huh? We'll move on. Capture base, huh? Ooh, a single experienced mech warrior? Yikes. Americ Lance. This one could be pretty easy. Pretty high pay. No free priority salvage here. We'll just go ahead and accept this straight down the line. We're to drop the Jenner and bring the Hollander instead. And then we will drop... Which one of these? I want to drop the one that doesn't have the pulse rifles. Or pulse rifles. Pulse lasers. There we go. Yeah, so this one. We're to drop that, and we're going to bring the Jenner. Cool. So that'll be fine. I'm not too worried about affinities at this point. We'll go ahead and deploy this, and while we're waiting for this to load in, I will be right back, and we'll be ready to go in a minute. Hopefully. I hope. See you guys in a moment.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Okay, looks like it got loaded up. Fantastic. So we just have a very straightforward battle. Finding a military lance should be no problem at all. And that is absolutely true.
Command interface.
We've got them,
initiated.
Commander. Right out in the open. Let's go. They're apparently amateurs. Oh, we have allies too? Okay, we've also got some fog going on. That'll help our coolant a little bit. I guess we'll deploy here. That's as forward as we can. Okay. Are we expecting a second enemy lance here? Like, with these allies, I feel like a single enemy is not going to be a huge challenge. So this sprint VTOL is going to have a lot of evasive. Once again, as usual, we're going to reserve and let them move first. Yeah, that's why. Right there. They have so many evasive, they're almost impossible to hit at this point. Whoa, did I see an internal combustion engine out here? I did. That's a crosscut. Oh my. That's kind of hilarious. Okay.
Nice try.
I like it. So we're going to move up with our Jenner here, eventually, but we're going to keep reserving until Phase 9. That's an Artemis 4 tank? Is that what that said? Yes, but it's got LRM 15. Okay. Not Arrow, Artemis. I'm dumb. Okay,
Yes,
that's fine.
Commander.
We're going to reserve here. And then we're going to reserve one final time. That's a trebuchet. Okay. Cool. And a second VTOL. Huh. Well, that's interesting. One final reservation, of course. Well, this is not going to be much of a challenge, I think. But that's okay. We don't need every mission to be super hard. That's a javelin way out there.
Receiving
Okay.
you.
I'm going to take the Jenner up over here.
Confirmed.
Oh, I thought this sprint had moved. I'm dumb. We're going to pot shot this. We're probably not going to hit because I moved this a little earlier than I
Negative
intended to.
damage.
But
I
that's okay.
repeat, Negative damage.
No big deal there. Okay, now the VTOL will move. Any moment now. There we go. Out over here? Sure.
What's up?
We're going to bring our hatchetman up. And we can fire on either of these. So we've got this one, 27% chance, and this one, 19. We're going to fire on this sprint VTOL, but we're probably not going to get great hits there. It's okay, actually. That's okay. A Prowler firing on that VTOL, but not hitting a single missile.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Okay. Our Striker is going to move up over here.
Going
And the
turbo.
Striker's definitely going to shoot down this VTOL, I think.
Commencing Alpha strike.
I thought that until I saw the odds there, and then I was like, I don't know about that.
Receiving you.
Our Hollander is going to move up over here. We don't get LOS on anything unless we sprint, so our hit odds are going to be a little bit low for this first Hollander shot. Yeah. We'll fire on the crosscut. Odds are low. We'll see.
Taking the shot.
Yeah, we didn't hit.
Negative damage.
That's okay. We've got 19 more shots.
Yes, Commander.
Our Wolverine is going to make its way up over here. And we're going to try to shoot down that VTOL. We're having a hard time with our targeting, though,
Firing all
for this first round. But there we go. One dead VTOL.
hostile removed.
Beautiful. So next up, the crosscut's going to move in. Doing a little bit more AoE damage over here. I'm not too concerned about that AoE damage, honestly. It's okay. No big deal. And the Javelin closes in a little bit. Fires on that Striker. No big deal there either.
Is that it? I'm barely scratched.
Aye, aye.
Okay, so our Jenner is going to start closing in on this crosscut. Out over this way.
Got it.
And we'll see what we've got for hit odds here. 6.5, 12.5. It's not great, but it'll do. We got 7 damage in there. Cool. Are Gauss rifles affected by recoil in RogueTech these days? I can never remember. They made so many changes to that last season. I need to double check that. Let's see
Let's do
here.
this.
No. Okay. I think it's heavy Gauss rifles that they added recoil to.
Roger.
Okay, 29.8, 10.4. We'll fire on this crosscut. Odds are still a little low.
Here we go.
But honestly, all we need is
No
one
choice.
hit, and that crosscut is really, really hurting. Okay. So the Mantis is going to close in, probably. Let's see what it's got. Decent damage to the Hollander's armor there. The Hollander is not heavily armored. It's not really intended to be like a front-line mech, right? You're supposed to sit way back with it and snipe with the Gauss rifle. But it is what it
Ready
is.
for order.
The Hatchman is going to move up. Checking hit odds, 21, 21, and 35. Okay,
All right.
cool.
What can I do for you?
Our striker is going to continue to wrap around over this way. And I'd love to take out this mantis. Odds are a bit minimal,
Firing everything I've got.
but we'll do what we can. Not much is what we can do. The Scorpion moves up and does not fire.
To go.
Our Wolverine will close in up here, and we'll check hit odds. 29.8, 14.7, and 19.3. Okay. Crosscut's the best odds.
Copy that. Failed to connect.
We still missed, but that's not shocking. Okay, so the crosscut's going to move somewhere here. Shoots at the Wolverine. Okay, not a big deal.
Damages light. Yes, Commander.
Our Hatchetman will close in a little bit over here. And we've got that LBX. 24.3. Okay, 42.1 on the crosscut.
I copy.
There we go. And of course, our Jenner is just going to continue
Ready for
closing it.
orders.
There we go.
Acknowledged.
Technically, hit odds are best on the crosscut here.
This should be
Now, we don't really want to get too close to that crosscut because of its chainsaws, but
Receiving you.
this will be, I think, okay.
I copy.
I hope it'll be okay. 29.8. Yeah, it's still the crosscut. And we miss. I'm not shocked by that.
Missed.
Okay.
Waiting
Well,
on
Big
you,
Tom,
Commander.
I need you to close in over this way and hopefully take down that VTOL.
Got it. Max speed, no shooting.
What do we got? 35.7? Give it a go, but that thing's pretty heavily armored, in all honesty. For a helicopter, anyway. Cyclone moves up and fires on the Mantis as well. So his armor is dropping. Scorpion moves up too and does literally nothing. We'll see what the Mantis does from here. Maybe it keeps firing on the Hollander. That's a pretty far shot for an ER small laser. Okay. It just goes for the Prowler narc. That's fine.
Waiting for orders.
So the Hollander is going to stay put here. 35.7, 12.5, 21.7. We'll fire on the crosscut, but odds are low.
Firing
that's
at
a hit.
full salvo.
That's a hit.
Reporting. Critical hit.
Yep. That was a lot of damage to that crosscut. The Prowler moves up, fires on the crosscut as well. The Trebuchet moves up, does not fire on anything at all. Not a huge fan of that one. I definitely would have lobbed something at the crosscut, hoping to make it unsteady. The Javelin moves up, shoots at our Hatchetman. That's completely okay.
Barely a hit, Commander.
Not concerned about that one. Okay. Cyclone moves up, fires on that crosscut. Almost unsteady there. Crosscut moves phase 9, so we should be okay. We'll see what they decide to do with the VTOL. Going for the striker? Cool. I like it. That is absolutely great.
What can I do for you?
We're going to move our striker in over here.
On
We're
my
going to
way.
keep hitting it with the SRMs.
This should be good.
We got a structure exposure there, which I didn't necessarily expect. In the turret? Okay.
Receiving.
I mean, it's not actually a turret. It's a VTOL. But
copy.
I think that's supposed to be like the cockpit or something like that. We're going to hit this with the LBX then. I was hoping to hit into the turret there. It didn't happen.
going.
The Hollander is going to choose its target based on hit odds again. 35.7 is a little unlikely. We'll give it a go.
Firing.
That's a hit.
That hit something.
That was a huge hit. 2 Gauss hits in a row on that crosscut is devastating. They're going to move in their Javelin here. Okay, going for the Wolverine. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Our Jenner is now going to move in here. We're going to go for the rear arc on the crosscut, I think. Technically, we're a little bit better off in terms of damage there to go for the front arc. But I'm going to move around back here anyway to threaten this guy. 82.6% chance of hitting this melee, and we do. I was hoping that would kill the crosscut, I'll be honest. Not quite, but that mostly hit the legs.
Commander.
Okay. Well, our Wolverine is going to make his way up over this way, and I want to see the kill on that Mantis. Hit odds are so low, though. We're going to fire at the crosscut. We may stray shot our Jenner.
Copy that.
I think we did. Maybe not. No, we definitely stray shot the Jenner there. Engine fuel cell crit. Panicked into knockdown. Maybe a pilot ejection? Injury resisted. That's sad. The Scorpion doesn't fire. Okay, there we go. One down. So 2 remain.
Now it's
Beautiful.
on.
At this point, our Hollander has to make a choice between shooting here and potentially hitting the Jenner, or shooting here and almost certainly missing. And we're going to take the miss. Cool. Oh, that's a hit. Wow, okay. That was unlikely.
Nick, destroy.
Cool. So they're shooting at the Javelin now. Not getting a lot of damage in there, but that's okay. Our Jenner is, at this point, going to hit the rear arc of this Javelin. Slight overheat here, but we accept that. That's a successful melee. And a nice successful rear attack there, too. The Trebuchet moves up, fires on that Javelin. Gets good damage in there, but I think it...
Okay.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
It stray shot us as well there. Very sad. Upper leg is fine, though. That's not a big concern. And that Javelin moves out and shoots at the Prowler. Okay, all good.
Ready for orders.
Our Wolverine is going to sprint up over this way. We're not going to get LOS. That's fine. The Prowler is going to fire on that Javelin. It's firing blind, not going to get too much done.
I hear ya.
Okay. Our Striker, I would love to get into LOS here. I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to position right up here, right on the edge of LRM range, and we're going to see if we can get anything done there. Very little. That's fine.
Commander?
This Hatchetman is going to sprint up over here. It's probably not going to get too much done at this moment. And this is why I move away from melee mechs, for the record, because closing in this game is
Something, Chief?
problematic often. We're going to come in here and fire on this Javelin. We're through his armor there.
Standing
Cool.
by.
And the Jenner at this point is going to come in and rear arc attack this guy. Now, I'm concerned about heat here, but we're actually not that overheated. So let's bring that in and
Targeting for a
boop his
physical
leg
attack.
there. Fantastic.
I think I hit something good.
Nice. And that's that.
Target eliminated.
A milk run just as we expected.
Mission
Sounds good.
Successful.
That was pretty much what we expected, but it was definitely a milk run. There's no doubt about that. That Gauss rifle doing some serious work, though. I like it. Okay, so what are we expecting from salvage here? Not much, honestly. Yeah, really not much. We got 800,000 C-bills for that. That's great. And we didn't take anywhere near that amount of damage. What is the sale price of these Mantis Vitals? About 400k? The crosscut would be more valuable for scrap if that's what we're going to do. And the Mantis is more valuable than the Sprint for sure. So I think that we grab the crosscut part and the javelin part. Actually, I have a hard time passing up an ER medium laser. Okay. We'll confirm that. And what do we get from the roulette? We actually do get all of these parts. That's nice. AC2 FCS. Okay. A basic cockpit we can get rid of. Standard fusion engine. We don't actually have one of those right now, so we'll keep it around. Just to be on the safe side. So, how much do we think we took in damage? Well, we're going to have to replace that one leg component from the Jenner. Overall, I'm expecting like 25k. Maybe not even that. Maybe not even that. It's going to be not much. But I'm usually wrong about these things. So I'm now expecting 2.5 million C-bills. And then I'm going to be like, Yang, go home. You're drunk. Like, I can buy these mechs new for less than that. Okay. Yeah, about 18k. Fantastic. Keep up the good work you're doing. Can't watch now. Take care. Well, thank you very much for that. I'm always glad to hear that people are enjoying what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to get these repairs done very soon here. But what are we doing for our Argo upgrade right now? Okay, there's 23 days on that. Sounds good. We'll go ahead and tick forward here. And we'll get all of those repairs done.
That work order you submitted
there we go.
is complete.
And everybody's good to go. We'll hop into our barracks. And we are going to get any upgrades that we can. We'll grab a point of piloting for Behemoth.
Commander?
And a point of tactics, absolutely, for Big Tom.
Warrior training complete.
Orders.
Good to go.
For live fire, a point of piloting is okay, I guess.
Commander.
Same for Majestic.
Training confirmed, Commander.
And then most of these down here are currently being used as backup mech warriors. We should probably be running the company commander here, in all honesty. That's something that we should do. Definitely. Since the company commander can't actually die. So, yeah, that would be a good thing. We're basically ready to deploy at this point. But do we want to do any refits of our mechs? Well, the JR-7C does need not much, but it needs a little bit here. Okay. It's already done.
Right. I'll get
Fantastic.
Job's done, Commander.
Now, I wouldn't mind going into the Wolverine here and swapping this medium laser for that ER medium laser that we just got. It will be a little less heat efficient, but it should be much more accurate at longer range. So that'll be great.
I'll let you know when that's
That'll be
done.
2 days, and I think I'm okay with that. We'll just tick forward. There we go.
Wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
And let's see what we might want to go out to now. I'm thinking 1 skull, 1.5 skull, somewhere in here. This is a battle. Karita is the op for. Okay. Seems pretty simple. No free priority salvage. Sad. So we're going to run it straight down the middle. 1 million C-bills for it is quite a large number of C-bills. So this will definitely be the toughest mission we've done yet. Yeah, Darius thinks this is a hard mission. He's probably wrong. In all honesty, Darius is usually wrong. I should have swapped out Magistrate for Behemoth, but it's okay. We'll scope it out. We'll see what we get. I mean, I've done so many missions where Darius is like, you shouldn't do this, and we get there and it's like 3 fleas, and we just step on them and leave. At this point, I don't trust Darius. He's probably wrong. That said, our mechs are not good. right? We haven't refit them. They're still mostly stock. So it's a bit of an issue, to be sure. But we'll see what we've got here. Hopefully we can use our Hollander to our advantage. If there's too much, we can always withdraw. But withdrawing in RogueTech is always spicy too. So we'll see how that ends up going. Cool. Any moment now, loading screen. You can do it. There we go. So we need to destroy the enemy units. A lance of Karetan battle mechs has been rampaging in Lyran territory on Capola. They've been raising population centers, burning fields and refineries, looting storage facilities. They're clearly doing everything they can think of to drive our people out. This is terrorism, pure and simple. We need you to find them and destroy them. No escape and no prisoners. Not much to say, Commander. Shoot to kill. Okay.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Let's go. So what do we got here?
Command interface initiated.
Stand up fight, our lance against the opposing forces. Intel says that they're near your current location. Okay, so we do have allies. We've had allies every mission thus far, which is a little strange, but sure. Maybe they tweaked the percentages on that. That's not the way it used to go, that's for sure. So, our friends have a commando, they have a griffin, they have a vedette, and a wolverine. Okay. And as far as our enemies go, we see a sentinel, we see a Vulcan. A pair of mediums there. Really? There's also an Irby up here. And there's a Blackjack. But he just gave up all of his evasive pips to turn his back on us. Okay.
Need something, Chief?
If that's the way you want to play it,
Position confirmed.
I'm not going to stop you, but this is not the way you should play it, for the record. Very weak rear armor here.
Taking the shot.
So we can probably eliminate the Sentinel before he can move again. Now, what are they going to move next? Probably one of these little guys out here. Not the Irby, I don't think. Actually, probably the Vulcan. Yep, it'll be the Vulcan. Okay, that's fine. He just runs off over here.
Receiving you.
So our Jenner is at this point going to just move up over here. We're going to pot shot this. This is a little out of range for the Jenner, but we're going to see what we can get done here and try to soften up this Sentinel's rear arc a bit. 9 damage into the rear arc. Our friend the Wolverine moves up, also goes for the rear arc of the Sentinel, and he's just dead.
Took a hard hit there.
So that Wolverine with the rotary AC doing some work there. Cool. So our next target is clearly the Vulcan.
Let's do this.
We're not... Actually, we do have an LOS out here. Only 6.5%, but we'll take it. Actually, 16.9.
Targeting for an alpha strike. Missed.
Off by a little bit there, but I mean at those hit odds, it's not shocking. Then we can position the Wolverine out over here, and we'll just start closing in on this Vulcan and focusing that down.
Taking the shot.
Couple of hits on the Vulcan there, but nothing major. Our allied Griffin going out there and trying to poke that urban mech a little bit. Not getting anything there, though.
What can I do for you?
And then our Stalker is going to sprint up over this way, although sprinting a wheeled vehicle through water is not very effective. But that's okay. The Vulcan is absolutely our next target. And these guys dropped off with sensors. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
So now the Jenner is definitely going to come in here and try to side arc hit this Vulcan. Hit odds are low, but we'll try to strip off a little bit of armor anyway. 20 damage. It's okay.
Commander,
Our hatchetman is going to sprint up and try to close in as much as it can.
targeting Alpha Strike.
11 damage. Not a lot. That Irby's a long ways away,
Yes, Commander.
so I'm not too concerned about that right now. Unobstructed
Copy that.
LOS here on the Wolverine. Cool. Not the best autocannon shot, but that's okay. They stray shot us, didn't they? They absolutely did. What a bunch of jerks. They stray shot us at least twice. Exactly twice. Rude.
Commander.
Well, our Hollander can move up over this direction. This is obstructed LOS. Yeah, no hit there for the Gauss. That's not shocking. Okay.
Waiting on you,
Our striker
Commander.
will now move up over this way. I was hoping to get a direct LOS there. No such luck. We'll just lob a couple of LRMs at this Vulcan.
Special delivery.
No hits. That's
Get
fine.
you next time.
Okay. Our allied Vedette moved up a little bit, but it doesn't have any weaponry that can fire there. They're shooting at the allied Wolverine. We're completely okay with that. As long as they don't destroy our Gauss rifle. That's on the left side. Our Gauss rifle is on the right side. So if we lose this torso, it's not the end of the world. It would be obnoxious to replace, but especially replacing it to friendly fire. But it's not the end of the world. If we lost the Gauss rifle, that would be tough. So that Griffin... Actually, they're like trying to group together back there or something. Like trying to meet up over here. Or just trying to get a firing line on that ridge. Like right up here. Not exactly sure what their goal is here. But the Blackjack out there is going to be able to provide some fire support. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
So our Hollander can position right here.
Location confirmed.
19.3% chance here now.
Firing all weapons.
Sad.
Missed.
But not shocking. So at this point, it will be the Vulcan. And it doesn't
hear
fire. Okay. So we're going to position, like, up over here.
Pedal to the metal.
And 12.5, 16.9, and it's not saying. Okay. We're going to go for the Blackjack.
Right, Commander.
Cool. Wolverine moves up. Rotary autocannons that Vulcan.
Orders.
Cool. Our hatchetmen will continue to sprint up. We
Roger
need to close in on
going
these
to full
guys if we
throttle.
can. And we'll fire our LBX on this Vulcan. Some armor damage there. It'll do. And the Jenner will close on in as well.
Just running. Got it.
Very, very low odds here. I'm just going to fire the lasers. They're going to all miss. That's fine.
Damage.
Good to go.
Cool. And then the Wolverine can close in to here.
Heading out.
And fire that AC. Yeah, no luck, but we knew that. That was not ever going to hit, really. Sounds good. So our friend the Griffin shoots at the Blackjack. That's fine. Okay. So the Irby's chilling out over here. Now, that's an R68 variant of the Urban Mech, and I believe, is that the AC-20 variant? I can't remember. We'll have to try to steer clear of that until we get a little closer. I'm going to sprint in over this way with the Jenner, keep it moving.
I copy.
Energy and missile. Okay. Well, that might be an MRM boat then. That's a distinct possibility. We're going to fire at that blackjack. Okay. Wolverine closes in, fires on the Vulcan. Misses everything. And now is going to be that blackjack. Shoots at our Jenner, but those 4 evasive pips doing work there. Always good.
Good to go.
So our Hollander can definitely close in over this way, and we can really start taking pot shots from here. So that'll be great. 42% on that blackjack. Take it.
Firing.
Ooh, that was a hefty hit there. Right in that torso, too. That was a pretty ideal hit there. Our Hatchetman moves up and can fire on that blackjack as well.
Target's taking a
2
critical
heat
hit.
sink destructions. That's a pretty big deal, too.
Commander.
Our Wolverine can close in next. And this blackjack is not doing all that well, but we're probably going to miss that. Yeah, we do miss that. Not shocking. That Vedette's not going to do anything.
Waiting on you,
Our
Commander.
Striker can move in over this direction.
Moving to position.
And from here, we can fire on the Blackjack, we can fire rear arc on the Vulcan, or we can fire on the Irby. And I think we're going to fire on the Blackjack here. There we
All
go.
weapons are go.
I was hoping we'd see
Another hit like that, and you're toast.
an engine crit. Is he running an XL engine? For some reason, I didn't expect a BJ1 to be running a XL engine. But that's probably what that is.
Yeah.
In which case, our Jenner could make it around up over this direction. We could even come a little closer to like here.
Affirmative.
Coming in ideally, well, this is right on, not exactly this flank, it's front arc, but it's on this side.
Confirmed.
Okay, he's unsteady. He moves phase 7. So that Wolverine doesn't fire. That Irby fires on our Striker, and yeah, that's MRMs, all right.
You've got nothing. You hear me?
Okay, sounds good.
I hear you.
So the Striker is going to move in over this way as well,
No need to tell me twice.
and we're going to hit this Blackjack here. Odds are good that we get a kill.
Be good.
That's a shoulder destruction.
Yeah, critical hit.
Not yet. Okay. We have not yet moved our Hollander this round. That Vulcan moves up and doesn't do much yet.
Ready.
Our Hatchetman can definitely close in over here.
Coordinates received.
We're going to keep firing our LBX at this Blackjack. I want that BJ1 gone. There we go. Engine destruction via an engine crit there. That's actually pretty ideal. We should have decent salvage opportunities for that. So the Hollander from here is going to position around here.
On the move.
Let's check hit odds. 35.7 versus 55.3. We're going to hit that Irby. Ooh, that's a solid hit.
Critical hit.
We took out its small laser. Its primary armament is on the other side, of course, but that's still a huge hit on that urban mech. And he's unsteady, so that's great.
Receiving you.
Our Wolverine is going to crest this hill here, and we're going to come around to here.
On my way. Double time.
We can continue to focus fire on this urban mech's weak flank here. 60 armor and 85 armor. Odds are really low that we kill it, but
Firing full
we'll do some hefty damage. Torso destruction. That's all of its heat sinks going away. And we got a head hit out of that too. Okay,
Yes, Commander.
so at this point, our Hollander is probably going to shoot at this urban mech again. We're not going to kill it. But that is all of its CT armor basically gone.
Commander.
Fantastic. Our Jenner is now going to come in rear arc on this Vulcan.
Coordinates received.
There we go.
Putting
We
my
did
weight
miss
into
the melee attack, but we're not hugely vulnerable here because of it. So that's fine. No problem. Some nice rear arc damage there. Could have been better, for sure. The Griffin jumps and fires on the Irby. I like this choice. I don't necessarily love the jump and missing everything, but firing on the Irby is a good choice. Cool. So the Irby is going to fire its MRMs at the Hollander. That hurts. Oh. And then he panicked and ejected. Okay. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose. Just take as much of the opponent's armor with you when you go. Sure. So the Vulcan rear arc attacks our Jenner, but it doesn't do much. Like, at all. It's completely fine. The Wolverine moves up, and we're going to take the Striker up over this direction. Parking in this fire isn't ideal, but it's okay.
Firing everything I've got.
And we'll just get some damage into that Vulcan. Cool. That Vedette has been completely useless this whole time. The Hatchetman can definitely start to close in over here.
Affirmative.
We want to shy over towards this side so that we don't stray shot our Jenner, ideally.
I got it.
Cool.
Scored a critical hit.
Took out a heat sink there. I like it.
Standing by.
And our Wolverine also wants to come over towards this side.
On my way.
Height-wise, we might stray shot our mech here. We'll see.
Firing on
Nope,
target.
we're good. Cool.
Negative damage.
So that's absolutely great.
Let's do this.
From here, our Hollander is definitely going to shoot at this Vulcan. Hit odds aren't good, but we'll see. Ooh, we did hit. You can always tell when the camera does that zoom effect. It only does that when you hit. I don't know why, but it only does that when you hit. Cool.
Standing by.
So the Hatchetman can definitely head out over this way
Acknowledged.
and continue firing on that Vulcan with the LBX.
Run.
That's a knockdown,
Reporting.
which means that there's no point in backstabbing because they always fall back first. Which I feel like is something that should maybe be random, whether they fall on their front or their back, but
I hear
okay.
ya.
We're going to move on up with our Striker, and the Striker will likely finish the job here, I think. Well, the armor's maybe a little too high for that still. But that's certainly a lot of damage.
When I shoot you, you'll take it and like it.
Good to go.
The Jenner is going to come in here and absolutely melee. There's basically nothing left on this Vulcan.
Ooh.
There goes 38 more armor. And there goes a bunch of stuff.
Scored a critical.
And a pilot ejection. Beautiful. So we're out of here.
Mission successful.
Okay. So with that done, that was a pretty hefty amount to pay, actually. We're building up a decent nest egg. We can probably start thinking about getting ourselves some sort of refit going. I'd love to get some Blackjack components out of that. The Blackjack is basically the Hollander, but slightly better, in my opinion, because it's not, like, completely tunneled in on that Gauss rifle. But we'll see. Yep, there's a million C-bills. Okay, so we do have all 5 Blackjack parts available here. Of course, we only have 2 salvage. I would love to grab that MRM-30. I think that's more important here. An improved MRM ammo. Done. We did get a Blackjack part. We got 3 Vulcan parts and a Sentinel part. So that's a lot of solid mech parts there. Generic armor, cockpit basic, sensor basic. We don't need those. But we did get the MRM ammo and the MRM-30. So that's really, really good. We probably want to think about equipping that MRM-30 on something. But what? We'll take a look at that. It's not going to fit on the Jenner. I can tell you that. It's not going to fit on the Hollander. So it would have to be on a hatchetman or on... Yeah, probably not the hatchetman. Or the 50-tonner. I can't remember what the 50-tonner is right now. The Wolverine. I think the Wolverine is probably the one for that. So let's go ahead and refit that as soon as we load in here. Eventually. Gotta love RogueTech loading times, right? We took a little bit of damage, mostly from friendly fire. It's not going to be very much to repair. Yeah, under 10k to repair. That was a very, very profitable mission. So let's go ahead and go into the mech bay. We've got a good nest egg here. Let's refit the Wolverine. And I would like to drop the SRM-6. Now, this is going to require a pretty hefty rework, right? To fit an MRM-30 on here. That thing's 10 tons. Like, this is going to be insane. We definitely drop the jump jets. 100%. Jump jets are out of here. Then, we're going to go to endo steel structure. That gets us close. We still need ammo, though. So we need the improved MRM ammo and the regular ammo, ideally. How much is this per 240 shots? Okay. That's a lot of ammo. So what I would really love to do from here is then also max out the armor. That's what I'd really like to do here. Let's see what that looks like tonnage-wise. It's going to be pretty high, obviously. Okay, so that's about 7.5 tons overweight. We can also drop our AC-5 ammo down here to be slightly safer. What other options do we have? Well, we could swap to double heat sinks. And then drop these guys. And we're still perfectly heat efficient. Are we okay even without the double heat sinks? No, we need the double heat sinks if we're going to do this. Okay, so we need to drop another 5 tons. The question is, how are we going to go about doing that? We could drop our engine. We don't have great options for that. That's for sure. So, we could drop down to an engine core 155. We're currently at a movement of 5 and 7. If we did that, we would drop to a movement of 2 and 4. That's real slow. Very, very slow. That does give us 5 tons to work with. But it's just not worthwhile, in my opinion. What else can we do here with what we have? Like, there's a multitude of ways we could make this work. But with what we have is the question. Like, we could use an XL engine. That would be a perfectly viable thing if we had one. We could use a, like, engine core 250 instead of a 275 if we had one of those. We don't. So with all that said, we're probably going to have to drop the MRM-30 for now and retain the SRM-6 along with the SRM ammo. That said, we could upgrade to AX and Deadfire. Something kind of like this. We still have a ton to work with because we dropped those heat sinks and jump jets. Well, 1.4 tons, to be precise. So with that, we could definitely put on, like, additional AC-5 ammo. It's not like we're running out of AC-5 ammo, but we could do that. It's not the worst thing. And then we just have 0.4 tons that I don't think we can really do anything with right now. We're not going to have heat issues. We're a lot more durable. And our weapons are exactly the same. We do want to upgrade to the MRM eventually. We just don't really have the tools to do it right now. So I think we'll go ahead and validate this. That'll just be a straight upgrade for us.
I'll get it.
But that'll take 20 days to get done. So I want to have that be the top priority. And how long on our Argo upgrade? 15 days. So we're going to tick forward for a little while here, at least until everything is done other than the Wolverine, which is now. So maybe from here, we deploy without the Wolverine. Probably something relatively milk runny. Actually, this destroy base is probably not a bad option. Free priority salvage here. Let's do it. We're going to run dual hatchetman, and we are going to run the Mongoose and the Hornet. Cool. So off we go. That'll be great. And we should be able to destroy this base quite easily with the Hollander, in all honesty. The Hollander should be pretty good at that. There's no doubt about it. So we'll get going on this, and it should be fairly straightforward. I wonder if we're going to have an ally lance again. So far, we've been, I think, 4 for 4 on having an ally lance, which is wild. But this is a very, very low compensation and very, very low skull difficulty is the term I'm looking for. It's a very, very low difficulty mission. We should not expect significant trouble here. This is mostly just to keep us afloat and get us some salvage opportunities. Now, it's going to be like very light mechs and vehicles, so salvage opportunities are going to be somewhat scarce, but I would like to see some kind of bigger engines. That would be great. Like 180 and up would be great. We need to destroy the captured base, of course, and escape. We're looking for a mercenary company to do some covert work for us. We've lost a base to the Federated Sons and believe Lyran personnel are being interrogated even now. We can't allow those people to spill their secrets, but it would look bad if we were seen to destroy our own base. We need deniability. We need you to level the base, particularly the storage and communications facilities. We'd appreciate it if you ensured there were no living witnesses, and we'll pay you a bonus if you wipe out all the opposition. They're using us so the raid can't be traced to them. Shooting your own people. This is an ugly situation for them to be in, but nobody said the periphery was a safe place to work. Indeed not, and everything's online. Cool. Okay, the captured base is up just ahead, so it's up over here. Got it. We do have allies. Heavy rain and low visibility. These weather conditions appear to be new. I don't remember those being a thing before, so that might be in this newest version of RogueTech that I just updated to before this stream. Cool. So we're going to drop right around here. We can see a turret point here, here, and here immediately. And this up here, is that a... Yeah, that's a turret. Okay. So that's a Valkyrie moving up, firing on that standard turret. Getting absolutely nothing done. We see a Locust, a Commando, we see a Commando, and another Locust.
I hear ya.
Nothing too frightening. We're going to move up with our Striker here, and I would love to hit this light UAC turret.
Affirmative.
Let's not take some ultra autocannon shots, thanks. We'll start to clear out these turrets. I'm not too concerned about these mechs. I don't think this is important. They did hit 2 medium lasers there, which does do a decent chunk of damage, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. We're going to have our Jenner run in over here. The only thing it can really hit from here is the Locust, and we will attempt to do so.
Got it.
Ooh, we broke through that armor already. Okay. Phase 13. What do they got? Commando moves up. Is that a, like, large laser variant?
Commander.
We don't know, technically. We're going to park the Hollander right up here on this ridge. I'd like to keep hitting the UAC turrets if we can help it. Yeah. UAC it is.
Alpha strike.
I mean, you can call it an alpha strike if you want, but is it really an alpha strike if all you have is a Gauss rifle? I don't know. I don't know that that's an alpha strike.
How's it going?
Our hatchetman is going to close in over this direction. I think sprinting is pointless here. We're going to move up to this location, and we don't have LOS on this light UAC turret, sadly, but we can fire on the standard turret chassis and get some damage to that. Beautiful. Boy, I wish we had those MRMs right now, but it is what it is. Our Hornet is going to fire on that standard turret chassis and get a little bit of damage in there.
What's up, boss?
And our hatchetman is going to position right here. That is obstructed LOS, sad. But we're going to fire on that as well.
Firing.
And that's a hit. Cool. And apparently, you know, I need to actually change that. Let's see here. Audio. Play audio when alt tapped. There we go. Beautiful. They're still moving around back here, which is kind of funny. But okay. LRM boat there. Sure. And there's that ultra autocannon. I don't want to take that fire for too much longer. Spicy. They've got heat shots. Okay. Locust moves up, shoots at our Hollander, misses. These Locusts are getting awfully close to our hatchetmen, though. I wish them luck on that one. Okay, the Valk moves up, goes for that standard Shredder turret. Cool. And that Commando is kind of useless at this point. So our hatchetman is going to, I think, stay exactly where it's at for the moment and go for this standard Shredder turret, or close in on the Locust. Let's do it.
Here it comes.
Some damage to the Locust there. Not as much as I'd hoped. But that's okay. The Hunter moves up, does absolutely nothing. Okay. What's this last move? I believe this is Commando. Where's it gonna go? Any moment now, Mr. Commando. No, it's the Locust. Bold. Engaging the hatchetman like that with a Locust. I don't think that's a particularly good idea. But the Hollander is going to fire on this light UAC turret, which actually did jam. And that was a terrible shot for an 81% chance.
For orders.
Okay. We're going to close in with our hatchetman here. Oh yeah, we're running dual hatchetman here. I didn't intend to do that necessarily, but sure. Or no, that's because we're doing that because our Wolverine isn't ready. That's right. I'm dumb. Okay. Yeah. It's clearly been a long day. The Hornet is going to move up and fire on the standard Shredder turret, getting a little bit more armor damage in there. And our Jenner is going to pursue in here. I'd love to melee attack this Locust. From like this side arc? Yes. Do it. No, not there. There. Get in there.
Moving out.
We may miss. We did not miss.
I think I hit something.
And that's one dead Locust. Beautiful.
Target eliminated.
Okay. More LRMs into that standard Shredder turret.
Waiting on you,
And at this
Commander.
point, our Striker needs to make his way on in here as much as it possibly can. I guess this is the best it can do, and I don't
Pedal
love
to
that.
the metal.
Yeah, I don't love that at all. Not a great position, but it'll have to do for now. A little bit of armor damage into that light laser turret. And we'll be able to pick these defenses apart reasonably quickly once we get a little more closed in. So that's fine. So it is a COM 1D. Ooh, that was unfortunate.
Oh, damn it. Oh,
That was incredibly bad luck right there. Okay. So what happened was this shredder turret here fired its AC-20, and it just, with the 3 evasive pips, it happened to hit the leg of the Jenner and just blew up the leg in one hit. That's really unfortunate. Now, we didn't really have anything in that leg, so as long as it can survive, it's okay. We can replace the leg. But that Jenner is incredibly vulnerable for the rest of this mission. Just period, end of story. Oh, it's a 5S. Okay. We may have to eject Brick. We'll see.
coming apart around.
But yeah, that was incredibly
Waiting
unlucky.
for orders.
The Hollander is going to step up to here.
Yes,
I want
I'm
that shredder turret gone. Get rid of it. Sadly, no crit
What can
there,
I do for
but the
ya?
striker is definitely going to try to move up here and get an LOS on something useful. Okay, there we go.
Going turbo.
Wow. Finish off that shredder. I don't want that AC-20 doing anything else. It was bad luck that they hit us there,
One left turn.
let alone that they hit us where they did, but I don't want to I don't want to risk that one again.
Waiting for orders.
Okay. So our hatchetman is going to sprint up over here,
Acknowledged.
and I want to finish off this light UAC turret, ideally.
Aye, aye.
That was a terrible shot. Okay. So our friend the Hornet moves up, fires on that light UAC turret. It does get a turret systems crit. It could have killed that, but it didn't, which is sad.
Need something, Chief?
The hatchetman is absolutely going to sprint in over here.
Got it. Run, don't shoot.
I want that UAC turret dead, but we cannot fire on it from here. So we'll fire on the light laser turret. It's not ideal, but it'll have to do. The real question is, can our Jenner survive this round? Because we don't move it until round 1 now, which really sucks. We'll see. It may die here, especially with that vulnerability there. Yeah, this is going to be potentially grim. We'll see what they do. There's no replacing that C3 unit if we lose it. Breaking through the armor on the Hollander there.
I'm getting blown apart out here.
Okay. But the Locust is right here next to 2 hatchetmen. Like, that's not a good move. And then they didn't fire.
Ready for orders.
That's intriguing.
All right. Regain stability, Commander.
Okay. Our Jenner is now going to try to back off a bit and brace.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay. Phase 15 is this commando. The commando moves up, fires on the Jenner. Doesn't get any major damage in there. That's lucky.
Standing by.
From here, the Hollander can potshot at anybody out here. And we're going to go for the light UAC turret. I want it dead. It'll have 5 HP left after this if we don't crit.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
It has 5 HP left. Hopefully the Hornet finishes it off. That would be ideal. No fire from that vehicle. The Hornet moves up, and it does fire on it. Cool. That was perfect. The Hornet finishing that off was the call. That is the correct call there. So at this point, our striker is going to start really trying to push it.
Got it. Max speed, no shooting.
I'd like to take out that light shredder turret there, I think. Are the hit odds the same? They are. So we're going to go for the light shredder turret here.
This should be good.
Okay. Got about half of its armor down. Little under half. Valkyrie moves up, fires on that light laser turret. Another good armor reduction there.
Commander?
Our hatchetman here is absolutely going to come in and hit the side arc of this locust.
Affirmative.
We missed the melee attack.
Damn.
And everything else besides, other than one medium pulse laser shot. Disgusting. That was really bad luck there. Okay. Well, that's fine. We've got another hatchetman here ready to try. Commando moves up, shoots at the LRM. This is okay.
Yes, Commander.
So this hatchetman is going to move in here, and we are going to attempt to kick the locust. Hit odds aren't quite as good from this angle, but we do manage to leg it. And that's a super dead locust.
Critical hit, Commander.
Maybe not this round, but it is very vulnerable.
Reporting.
It gets knocked down as well. Okay. They're shooting at our striker here. This is solid. I like it. No problem here.
Yeah.
Cool. So our Jenner is definitely in danger over here, of course, and we're just going to move down over this way and attempt to finish off this locust.
All weapons are cold.
No kill there.
Got past his armor.
He may eject soon. Hunter moves up and fires also on that locust. There's a pilot panicking and ejecting. Perfect. So our striker next round is going to finish off this guy.
What can I do
Okay,
for you?
Big Tom, in you go.
Moving out.
We're going to hope to finish off this shredder turret. We may not kill it.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Now, we got through the armor. We got one engine crit. I was hoping for a couple more crits, but that's about the best we could hope for, in all honesty. So we've got a commando here and a commando here. We're going to start sprinting our hatchetmen in.
On it.
And they're going to fire on whichever commando they have the highest hit odds on, which is actually the light laser turret. So we're going to go ahead and fire on that.
Target acquired.
I know that's not a commando, but regardless. There we go. Almost took out all of that armor. And at this point, we're going to move up over here. We don't get an LOS, and because we missed the melee attack, we were unsteady and couldn't sprint. So we're going to have to fire at the light laser turret here. And we got crits. Good. That light laser turret is gone. 2 commandos remain.
Yes, Commander.
The Hollander can fire on this commando or on the light shredder turret. Hit odds are better on the shredder turret. We'll give it a go.
All weapons are go.
There we go. No turrets remain.
That turret
Now
is
all that's
gone.
left is 2 commandos. Our friend the Valkyrie moves up, fires on the Com-5S. So you've got a 2P and a 5S. Okay. So they're going to move the 2P here in a moment, and that's of course the one with the missiles. And this one is the one with the large laser. Moves down into this ravine. I don't necessarily think that's a great move for them. But okay. I guess they're trying to get away from, like, the Hollander line of fire. Sure. But we can isolate this one now. The large laser misses the striker. Cool.
Receiving you.
And our Jenner is, of course, just chilling back here. At this point, there's not a lot that the Jenner can do. The Hornet moves up and fires on the 5S. That's completely okay. Which way is this guy facing? Oh, he's facing away from the striker.
Commander.
Oh my.
Got it.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and fire on the 5S here.
Here it comes.
Sure, he has cover plus guarded, but that's fine. The striker at this point is going to roll into his rear arc. And we're going to fire on him. I'm not going to hot load the LRM-10.
Firing everything I've got.
Cool.
When I shoot you, you'll take
One
it
more of
and
those,
like it.
and that commando is toast. The Valkyrie shoots at the 2P. That's a pretty good choice, actually. I like that choice. And this commando is, yeah, it's very close to dead. So they're going to move it now. And where do they go? Bold. Very, very bold. Too bold,
Standing
in
by.
fact. Interestingly, we can't melee it from the rear, but we can just walk into the rear here.
Moving out.
So yeah, this commando is super dead.
Close the ship. Tango down.
Okay.
Good to go.
Next up would be our Hollander, and the Hollander can fire at this commando. Odds are a little low, but we appear to be occluded by the hill here, so I'm willing to roll this.
Firing. Full complement.
Yeah, we don't hit, but that's okay.
That's a miss.
Cool. All that's left is the one commando. And let's see what they decide to do here. They go for the hatchetman. Get a little armor there. That's okay.
My armor's getting stripped
I
off.
don't mind that at all. The LRM moves up and does a whole lot of nothing. Our allies are just generally not doing anything. The Jenner will limp forward a little bit, but without a leg, there's really not much that Jenner can do. Cool. So the commando will move immediately here, but then every single one of our mechs can respond to it. His best move would be to back off towards the base. Okay. I guess he can one-shot the striker. That works too. Well, we'll see if the striker is fully destroyed. I usually don't keep vehicles around for too long because of that, but
Acknowledge.
we'll see.
Roger that.
Structure exposure there. But yeah, I just find that that tends to happen to vehicles, so I don't
Waiting
usually
for
use them
orders.
too heavily in RogueTech. The Hollander can only fire at the base, and we may as well. Cool.
Firing on target.
Enemy structure damage, Commander.
Okay, we're going to take in this hatchetman here. We can only
On my
charge,
way.
but we're just going to position here, and there we go. One dead commando.
Enemy down.
So, I mean, losing the striker isn't that big of a deal. We'll see if we actually lost it, too. There's a chance that it was permanently destroyed, but it's not necessarily.
What do you need?
Okay, the Jenner will close in over here.
Position.
Okay.
Receiving you.
So the Hollander is going to continue shooting at this medium military building.
Got
It's
it.
going to have 10 HP left. Or we could just full-on miss while it looked like we hit. That works, too.
Orders.
We're going to close in with our hatchetman here, and I would love to fire on this building because we may stray shot the one in front of it.
Taking the shot.
We did not. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, our allies are going to be no help whatsoever in killing the base.
Ready.
Not that they're that much help
Heading out.
normally, like, regardless.
Fire.
Okay,
Good shot,
there's one building gone, and the other one has 10 HP. So we'll just need to be able to move here.
Commander.
The Jenner can actually get in range.
Acknowledged.
Oh, this building has 90 HP. That's right, it didn't actually hit.
Attacking from position.
So it's got a little bit more HP here. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with the with Big Tom here. Now, Big Tom is not
Go.
dead. Big Tom survived that. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say he's dead anyway. Which doesn't necessarily mean he's dead. But I've never seen them be dead while not saying that they're dead in-game. So we'll see if Big Tom survived. We'll also see if we can repair our striker or not. But yeah, that was definitely surprising to me that they managed to get the large laser and the medium laser and a missile into the same location with 3 evasive pips. That's very good shooting. Like, incredibly good shooting. Suspiciously good shooting, one might even say. But we might have to do a little bit of repair work here. Let's go ahead and see. What are you going to tell us, Yang? We'll see. The game is currently not responding, but it'll get there in the end. There we go. Okay. And that's just kind of endemic of, like, the whole issue with RogueTech vehicles. This is saying it's fine, but the whole issue with RogueTech vehicles was always, like, in the first initial implementation, right? The first initial implementation was that vehicles, when they were destroyed, were always just fine afterwards. So you'd have, like, sacrificial vehicles. That wasn't good, so they added a chance for the vehicles to be permanently destroyed. But at least at the time, I don't know what it's like right now, but at least at the time, that chance was just way, way too high. It was like an 80% chance, or at least it felt like one. Okay, I think we're going to grab a pair of medium lasers. Actually, what's this RE medium laser? I'm not familiar with this. Plus 40% damage dealt to armor. Huh. We'll definitely take that. That's pretty cool. And beyond that, we could take like AC-20 ammo if we really wanted to, but we don't have an AC-20 to use it with, so that's not going to be a thing. I think we'll just grab the Engine Core 160 for now. There we go. And what do we get? We get a bunch of parts. Always good. Machine gun, I guess we'll keep that around. We don't have any of those right now. Standard FCSs we don't need. Basic sensor, nope. Generic structure, nope. Okay, but the rest of that was all pretty good, salvage-wise. So we'll see what Yang thinks this is going to cost repairs-wise. And we'll see if the striker is gone or not. We're still not 100% sure on that one. So let's see what we've got. Any moment now, Yang. You've got this. You can do it, Yang. You can do it. Maybe. Maybe Yang can do it. No, he definitely can. I have no idea what to expect from the expenses this time, because the vehicle was destroyed, but it may not be destroyed. If it's destroyed, the expenses will be much lower. But if it's just damaged, then the expenses will be reasonably high, but I'm not sure how high. So we'll see. Yang, what do you got? Okay, about 90K and 15 days. So I guess it's fine then. Cool. So we're going to prioritize the Wolverine here, and we'll move those on down. We're going to be done with our Argo upgrade in 9 days, so we'll tick forward a little bit here. Cool. We'll return the ammo to the vendor. We don't need more AC-5 ammo for now. No lasting consequences. Sad. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Cool. So we'll get another upgrade going.
Commander.
I would love to get a third mech bay. For that, we need improved power conduits and structural reinforcement. So that's structural repair there. This is structural reinforcement. We also need improved power conduits, so we'll grab this next, since that gives us a tech point and a morale. That will be absolutely fine. And then we will continue to tick on forward here. We're going to have a financial report very soon. That's fine. We are quite financially stable.
Ready to go over financials whenever you are.
Cool. So that's fine. We are going to get a couple more repairs done here soon. I want to, before we continue to tick forward, make sure that the Jenner is good to go. It is not. So we absolutely want to make sure that we are refitting the Jenner here before we tick forward too far. Repairing a jump jet and removing a small jump jet, I believe, from the leg. We have other small jump jets, so we can... Actually, it came from here. We can put it in there. Beautiful. So we'll get that good to go. Of course, our armor on these are pretty low. There's no doubt about that. But we'll get these finished up reasonably quickly. The Hollander is the longer one. There we go. Now, Brick is injured, so we're going to have to sub Brick out for this one. But we can, I think, looking at the time here, I think we've got time for one more mission. So let's go ahead and hop into the command center. And we're a little bit low on funds here. Ooh, look at this one. A simple battle, 1.2 mil max pay. No free priority salvage, sadly, but that seems decent. We drop this Hatchetman, and I'm going to drop Behemoth for right now. And we're going to bring in Wolverine, and we're going to bring in Magistrate. There we go. Of course, we need to drop Brick as well, and we'll bring in Mongrel to substitute for him. Perfect. So this should be fine. We'll go ahead and deploy this. We've got our Jenner, our Hatchetman, our Hollander, our Striker, and our Wolverine. I like it. Who was our op for? Merrick? Steiner? I think it was one of those. We're either working for Merrick and op-foring Steiner, or we're working for Steiner and op-foring Merrick. I can't remember. The two are basically the same. One of them is full of atlases, and the other one wants to sell you the other one's atlases. So, it's all good. Fantastic. So, eventually, this will load in the loading screen. It'll be done soon enough, I hope. I wish. I wish. It'll be done soon enough, I wish. There we go. So we need to destroy enemy units. A Lance of Merrick battle mechs has been rampaging in Lyran territory on Capola. They've been razing population centers, burning fields and refineries, and looting storage facilities. We saw this exact briefing like 2 missions ago. So they want us to kill this Lance of Merrick battle mechs. So we're working for Steiner, and it is Merrick that we're fighting. Sounds good. So we will get in there as soon as our combat is prepped.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Beautiful. In we go. Okay.
Command interface
Stand up fight.
initiated.
Yep, let's go. Visibility is poor in the fog and darkness. Yep. So they're going to be like up on this hill. It's going to be an interesting approach for us. I do think that we should land... It's kind of in a bit of a clearing out over here, but we'll land out over this way. And we'll just start advancing up the hill. We saw somebody right over here. Okay. Well, we're entering combat. Oh my. They're immediately dropping mortars on us. Ah, IS tag. Okay. They've got a Clint up there. That's reasonably dangerous, and a Stinger. Okay. So first things first. We're going to take our Hollander out over... Well, it was the Wasp that just moved. So we're going to take our Hollander out over here, out of the mortars. And we'll fire on this Wasp. Odds aren't great, but we'll roll it. Oh, we actually hit. Surprising.
I hear ya.
The Striker is going to immediately move up this way and engage this Wasp as well. The Wasp is pretty heavily damaged already from that strike. Let's see what we can get. Nice. A torso destruction.
Yeah, critical hit.
Beautiful. Next up, our Jenner is going to move up over this way as well. And I don't really want to turn our back on this Stinger. This position. Okay. From here, we can fire on the Wasp. And barely do any damage. We did make them panic, though. Okay, I'm going to take the Wolverine out over this way. I'm not sure if any of these mortars are attached to the Wolverine or not.
Heading out.
One is. Okay, so we're going to move the Wolverine out over there. And actually, good hit odds on this Stinger. Surprising.
Aye, aye.
But we still miss everything.
I missed?
You did indeed. Okay, so they're going to be moving their Clint now. The Clint is definitely the most dangerous mech that they have there, other than perhaps the IS Standard. But it's definitely, I really do think it's the Clint. That's the most dangerous one. That Stinger runs off a bit.
Good to go.
And our Hatchetman is, of course, going to sprint up over here.
You want fast? I can give you fast.
And we're going to fire on this Wasp.
Here it comes.
Very close to killing it. Very, very close. So that Clint is moving now. Fires on our Hatchetman. But nothing too major there. So we're only going to get hit by one of those 4 mortars. And that's only going to hit the Wolverine. So that's not too bad. Our Hollander is going to advance out over this way.
On my way.
And we can fire on the IS Standard or on the Clint. What are the hit odds on the Clint? Not great. We're going to try to shoot at the IS Standard, but honestly, Gauss rifles at infantry is not the best idea.
Locking in all weapon systems.
Okay. We're not shocked about this. Okay. What do we got up over here? We've got that Stinger. Right. I think that we send... the Jenner after the Stinger. We come up over this way.
Full speed, no target.
And we fire at the Stinger here. It's probably not going to do too much. 28 damage is actually quite a bit for a Stinger. Mostly in the head, though, which isn't all that helpful. The Wolverine is going to come in over here and can fire at any of these. And I think the answer is the IS Standard. Okay, we got a little bit of damage in there. They move in, and they tag the Striker. That's fine. The Striker's mission is going to be to eliminate that infantry, I think, from here. The Wasp is reasonably managed. I don't think that that's going to be much of a problem from here on out. The infantry could be. The Clint could be. The Stinger is running away, and we'll let the Wasp deal with that. So we're going to move up with our Striker.
Got it.
We're going to fire on the IS Standard here. Okay. We got a lot of their armor dealt with. We didn't kill any of their subunits, but that's okay.
Need something, Chief?
The Hatchetman will move up. The LBX and the pulse lasers are actually decent for the IS Standard as well. And all of that hit our Striker. That's unfortunate.
Yikes!
Very sad.
That hit hard.
It did indeed. And it wasn't intended to hit you. But that's to be expected, honestly. So the Clint will close in here. Fires on the Striker. Doesn't get too much done there. Cool. What is that, an AC5, AC10? I'm not sure which. The IS Standard still going for the Striker.
Yes, boss.
Okay. So from here, our Hollander is going to step forward.
Confirmed.
And we could go for the Wasp or the Clint. Hit odds are so much higher on the Wasp,
Here we go.
but we still miss. That's okay. Sure. Phase 14 is going to be the Stinger. I'd like for it to come back, and it does, actually. Doing a little bit of damage to the Jenner, but it's really not much. The Jenner is more than a match for the Stinger.
Ready for...
So the Hatchetman can close in over here, and I still want the Hatchetman to be working on that IS standard.
See how you like this.
We destroyed some boarding claws. That's not bad.
Target's taking a critical
And we
hit.
destroyed we killed a member of the squad there. So that's good. Very good. Next up is, of course, the Clint. Closes in, fires on the striker. Okay, 45 damage. So AC5 then.
I'm taking a pounding, Commander.
AC5 is not that threatening,
Waiting
and our
for
striker is going to move in over this way and continue to hit these guys. Cool.
Critical hit, Commander.
So they no longer have any weapons. Sadly, 3 of the 4 are still alive. Or actually, they still have a tag. Okay. The Wasp moves out and attacks the Hatchetman. That's definitely bold.
What's up, boss?
I think that's ill-advised. We're going to come in and kick the rear arc of the Stinger. Hopefully we hit it.
Aye, aye. Putting my
We did
weight
not.
into it. No joy.
But we still killed it. That's how weak the rear arc of a Stinger is. It's ridiculously weak. So the Wolverine is going to close in over here. And we can go for any of these 3. I think the answer is we go for the Clint here.
Okay, I'm on it.
I was really hoping the AC5 would hit there. We did get some acid on his armor, so that's good.
Standing by.
The Hollander from here is absolutely going to hit the Wasp.
Firing.
Okay, is absolutely going to miss the Wasp.
Failed to connect.
Fantastic. The IS standard moves over and swarms the striker. Okay.
Minimal damage, Commander.
That does, of course, mean that the Clint can't hit the striker without potentially hitting its own friendly infantry. Okay. The Wasp just did that. It did not finish any of those off, but that's okay.
What's up, boss?
Our Hatchetman is going to close in here, and this should finish the job on this Wasp. Our heat is getting up there, so it's a bit of a concern. But yeah, that Wasp is totally dead.
Show me your war face.
Hostile
Cool.
remove. Commander?
Now, for vehicles... How do vehicles remove swarmers? I know how mechs do it. Oh, it's in here, probably. Erratic maneuvering. Yes. There we go. Okay, so we'll erratic maneuver, and then we're going to head up over this direction.
Right, Commander.
And yeah, that detached them. Perfect. We're going to pot shot this Clint, but it's probably not going to hit very much because of the erratic maneuvers. That's completely
Ready
fine.
for orders.
And our Jenner is now going to come in on the rear arc of this Clint. We're not to the rear arc yet, but next round we'll get there.
What do you need?
And then our Wolverine is going to come over here. And I'd love to eliminate these guys.
All weapons, fire.
Well, there's 2 of them gone. There's only 1 remaining.
Scored a critical hit.
And it's not got much HP. So we'll see what the Clint does here. It's in a dire position. It does not want to be where it is. I can tell you that right now. The Clint is not happy about its positioning. Next up is going to be our Hatchetman, which will move in here. I'm going to fire on the IS standard. I'm not going to fire 2 medium pulse lasers to sink heat. Cool. So there's that infantry gone.
Got him.
And I think we also stray shot that Clint a little bit, which is nice.
Good to go.
We can now take our striker into the rear arc of this Clint. Maybe shouldn't have gotten this
All
close.
weapons are go.
But it's all good.
Receiving you.
Our Hollander from here could shoot at the Clint. We'll try it. We did manage to hit. Cool.
Yeah.
And our Wolverine, I would love to get into the rear arc as well. We absolutely can.
Confirmed.
This Clint could die here. A little unlikely, but it could.
Roger.
Lots of acid there. And he actually ejects. Cool. So that's that.
Successful.
One mission done. Now, I'd love to get some Clint parts out of that, and that is, I think, definitely what we're going to do. No doubt about that. We are certainly going to take some Clint parts. What else are we going to get from the salvage, though? That's the real question right now. Well, we'll see. Looking at the time, though, I think that's definitely going to be the last mission that we run for this particular session. Like I said at the beginning, I am planning for this to be kind of an irregular thing that we return to periodically for streaming. I'm not going to make, like, one of the stream days be dedicated to this or something like that. It's just going to be a periodic thing that we keep coming back to. And we are going to do a little bit of post-work here, just to make sure that we're ready to go for the next episode. Not really episode. For the next stream day. They want the Clint parts. And they're offering us standard heat sinks in exchange for the Clint parts. I decline. I want Clint parts, thanks. There's nothing else here I want. Well, maybe an Engine Core 240, actually. That might allow us to mount that MRM. We did get 3 Clint parts out of that. Not bad. Cockpit basics, some standard heat sinks. Those are fine to keep around for the moment. And we only really need the one standard fusion engine. Okay, let's refit our Wolverine here to try to get those MRMs on. Now that we have that Engine Core 240. And then after that, we'll probably call it for this particular stream. So that'll be fine. But let's see what we've got here. What do you want, Yang? How much do you want? What's the damage? Any moment now, Yang. You can do it. Maybe. Maybe Yang can do it. It's hard to say. Honestly, the loading times of RogueTech is the worst part of RogueTech. Well, that and having like a 99.9% chance that you absolutely need to hit and you still miss it, and then they hit 0.01 chances like 4 times in a row. That's another bad part of RogueTech. But that's just, you know, this type of game in a nutshell, right? 2,000 C-bills. That is such minuscule damage. Wow. Okay, so we're going to hop into the barracks here and try to refit the Wolverine. Why would we hop into the barracks to refit the Wolverine? We're going to hop into the mech bay. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to stream forever. Like 12-hour streams or things like that. Yeah. That's part of the reason why I don't want to do that. But we're going to hop into here and we are going to attempt to remove the SRMs and the SRM ammo. We need to put the armor back on. There's a little bit of armor here and there that we lost. And we'll just get all of that done real quick. And then, of course, we want to put that MRM 30 over here. Now, we're going to be overweight, and the question is by how much? So put the MRM ammo in, and that puts us at 6.563 tons overweight. So if we drop down to an Engine Core 240, which we just got from a 275, 2 tons overweight. Well, 2.5. That's maybe manageable. I don't think we need 2 tons of AC5 ammo, for one thing. Improved MRM ammo is 240 shots. What's 240 divided by 30? That's 8 firings. I'd like to have 2 tons of ammo here. But we could go down to 1 ton for the time being until we get, like, ferrofibrous armor. And then drop a small amount of armor. We wouldn't need to drop much. Actually, I think I'd like to have it be a little bit more like this. Cool. Do it. Oh, we have too few heat sinks. We need an additional heat sink here because we didn't have an internal heat sink. So we need to put that in out here, which means we're overweight because that's not a free heat sink. Oh, spicy. External free 0 of 1. What? That should have been a free heat sink. Is this a bug? That's supposed to be a free heat sink. Oh, of course. This is a single heat sink. We're running double heat sinks. I'm dumb. See? That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So we run that double heat sink there, and now it's fine. Beautiful. We validate that. Okay. And there we go. We can tick this forward if we want to. That would be absolutely fine. We can tick it forward a few days here. The competition, huh? Everybody gets a bonus. We've got plenty of cash. That's going to be a lot of morale and tech and medical point boosts. I like it. Everybody gets a bonus. They are performing quite well, actually, so that's fine. We're going to get the Wolverine repaired here, and then we're going to be ready to deploy now. So here is where I think I'm going to be stopping the stream for today, and we will definitely be returning to Rogue's Gallery at some point in the future. I don't know exactly when. I don't want this to be in, like I said, in like every weekend sort of thing. I want to just kind of irregularly dip back here once every other week or something kind of like that. Basically, whenever I feel like getting back into RogueTech a little bit. So that would be, I think, pretty great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you, of course, to all of the channel members for making this stream possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Ken2In, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmichi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cambron, Martin Lawrence, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.